Chapter 874. Then, she said goodbye to Qin Feng and rushed back to the police station. When she thought that Qin Feng was going to stay in Zhongchuan City for a while, she felt an inexplicable joy in her heart. She was bored alone in Zhongchuan City, and now, she finally had someone she knew. The group left in a grandiose manner. Even after a while, Ma Xinxin was still in a daze. Ma Xinxin was a stage for inner chi martial artist, and she knew that martial artists were much stronger than ordinary people. She also knew that Qin Feng was the Azure Dragon of China's 9 dragons. However, Ma Xinxin was still shocked by Qin Feng's strength. Moreover, Qin Feng was only a stage 5 inner chi martial artist after he was crippled by the divine dragon. Could a stage 5 inner chi martial artist take someone's life easily? This was Ma Xinxin's first time witnessing such a thing. Xinxin, don't just stand there. Help me check if there's any movement from Rao Man. Qin Feng knew that Ma Xinxin was scared out of her wits, so he tried to distract her with the matter of the singer. Ma Xinxin lowered her head in a daze. She took out her phone and logged into her newly created Weibo account. She almost peed her pants when she opened the Weibo account. Wow! Qin Feng, this is bad. The video that we uploaded earlier is going crazy. Qin Feng quickly jumped to Ma Xinxin's side and bent down to look at his phone. Their faces were almost touching, and Qin Feng's hand was wrapped around Ma Xinxin's waist. However, Ma Xinxin didn't care about these ambiguous actions. She was shocked by the popularity of the video. It had only been 3 hours since the video was uploaded. The number of views exceeded 100,000. There were more than 10,000 comments. There were more than 5,000 shares. Who's this guy? He's so good at singing. Why haven't I heard of his name before? He should be a newcomer. Even his Weibo account is newly registered. Sure enough, there are experts among the people. I think this song, Because of You, is even better than Rao Man's. It's a pity that this man is too ugly. So what if he's ugly? Talent is the true beauty. Ahem. But I have to say, he's really ugly. This man is so confident. He even named himself Zheng Shuai with such an ugly face. Is he trying to say he's handsome? Out of the 10,000 or so comments, more than half of them were discussing Qin Feng's appearance. Qin Feng was so angry that his nose became crooked. Ma Xinxin bent over in laughter when she saw these comments. She felt like she was watching a joke. Ma Xinxin had already advised Qin Feng not to show his face and not to use the name Zheng Shuai. In the end, Qin Feng didn't listen. Now he was hurt. Aside from the comments praising and discussing Qin Feng's looks, a large portion of the comments were from both sides cursing each other. The battle team was divided into 2 groups. One group consisted of Rao Man's fans, and the other group consisted of Qin Feng's fans. I just think Zheng Shuai sings better than Rao Man, so what? If you're not convinced, then come fight me. Who does Zheng Shuai think he is? A piece of trash who just entered the industry, wants to ride on our Man's fame and climb up the ranks? What a joke. He dares to come out and sing with that face of his? Hurry up and go home and hide, or change your career to a zombie film. If anyone dares to comment on Marshal Zheng's looks again, I'll immediately hunt you down and bring the army to his house. My father is the chief. Zheng Shuai, get out of the entertainment industry. Zheng Shuai, ignore those brainless trolls. We'll always support you. When you come back from plastic surgery, you'll still be a good man. The comments were too intense, and the netizens' imagination was too rich. Ma Xinxin read the comments again and again, enjoying herself. Xinxin, this speed is still a bit slow. My fans have only increased by a little more than 10,000. It's too little. Qin Feng didn't have the mood to read the comments. He was thinking of ways to increase his fame. Then do you have a better idea? Ma Xinxin looked at Qin Feng and asked. I think we should set a small goal first. For example, let's develop 100 million fans first. The corner of Ma Xinxin's mouth twitched. She turned her head and said, I'll continue to read the comments. For the entire afternoon, the 2 of them curled up on the living room sofa and browsed Weibo. Ma Xinxin was having a lot of fun, but Qin Feng was a bit bored. He purposely stuck his body to Ma Xinxin and took advantage of her from time to time. Qin Feng, quick look. Rao Man replied to you. She even reposted your video. Now your fans are increasing by a few hundred every minute. Ma Xinxin suddenly screamed in excitement. Qin Feng looked at his phone. Rao Sherman really reposted it. Not only did she repost it, but she also left a comment. I just had some free time and listened to Zheng Shuai's because of you. I personally think it's very good. I think he's a newcomer. I hope everyone can stop scolding and give some help and support to a talented person like him. Rao Sherman was indeed a kind girl. Although she didn't know Zheng Shuai, she was willing to help a talented person like him. Ma Xinxin read the comments and praised Rao Sherman greatly. She liked the pretty girls group, and now she liked it even more. Because Rao Sherman made a statement, the scolding subsided a lot. Rao Sherman's fans all became Qin Feng's fans. It was Ma Xinxin's first time experiencing being a star. Although she wasn't the one, she accompanied Qin Feng all the way. It felt like she was a star herself. Ma Xinxin thought being a star was really interesting. She grabbed her phone and secretly laughed. She looked like she wanted to read all the comments. The number of fans increased, and the rate of increase also accelerated. But it was still far from the 20 million fans required by the system. Qin Feng felt bored as he read and read. Since he had nothing to do, Qin Feng picked up his guitar and chose a few of his favorite songs. He was going to record a few videos and upload them to attract more fans. 3 days had passed since the battle between Qin Feng and the Divine Dragon, but only a few people knew about this battle, and it didn't cause any ripples. Everything was normal in the provincial capital. Qin Feng's fame was still at its peak, and he was still the topic of conversation. Qin Feng, Xiao Feng, Green Wolf. Each of his identities could make people talk about him for 3 days and 3 nights without getting bored. The more they knew about Qin Feng, the more they realized how flirtatious he was. Qin Shitian and Qin Huang had returned to Qin Manor. On the day Qin Feng was defeated, the two of them went to Mount Divine Dragon. But they weren't able to enter the Divine Dragon Shrine. They were stopped as soon as they reached the mountain. The Divine Dragon didn't want to see them, so Qin Shitian and Qin Huang couldn't do anything about it. Fortunately, Qin Xiao appeared later. Although he hated Qin Feng and his grandfather, Qin Xiao didn't have a heart of stone. When Qin Xiao saw that her grandfather and uncle were still waiting at the foot of the mountain, unwilling to leave, she told them that Qin Feng was still alive. Qin Feng wasn't dead. Qin Huang and Qin Shitian heaved a sigh of relief. They didn't know where Qin Feng went, and they didn't know how the Divine Dragon was going to deal with Qin Feng. But as long as Qin Feng wasn't dead, it was more important than anything else. Not only did the provincial capital have a wave of Qin Feng craze, but Qin Feng was the hottest topic in all of China. Especially in the 4 cities of Yun province, Qin Feng had become a familiar name. He turned from a hedonistic young master that everyone looked down on to an inspirational positive example. Many parents wanted to learn from Qin Feng when educating their children. The school's 3 merit students were judged based on Qin Feng's spirit. The only thing missing was Qin Feng's inspirational essays in the language textbooks of elementary and middle schools. If others mentioned Qin Feng from time to time, the women in Hero City would miss him even more. Qin Feng had been gone for 3 days. It wasn't a long time, but those women missed him immensely. Most importantly, Qin Feng's cell phone was turned off after he left Hero City. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't get through to him. A few of the women even chatted with each other during a meal. They all agreed that Qin Feng had gone out to have an affair with another woman. They even speculated that Qin Feng had assumed a new identity. This was his usual style of flirting with women. The 3 identities he had were enough to explain everything. The construction of Hero City was in full swing, and Qin Feng's group of capable and beautiful women took care of it in an orderly manner. Lin Bei also brought her mother over. Mother Lin had worked hard for most of her life, and now she could finally live a stable and comfortable life. The Yun family also came. Yun Zhe sent a lot of people to help big brother Qin Feng with the construction, and invested a large amount of money to build Hero City. Yun Xiao directly moved into Hero City. She was already engaged to Qin Feng, and Yun Xiao decided that Hero City would be her home from now on, because it was Qin Feng's home. The people from St. Medic also came to Hero City. Their representative was, of course, Ren Xiaoyao. Ren Xiaoyao was forced to come here by her family. Ever since Qin Feng visited the Ren family a few days ago, the Ren family had decided that Qin Feng would be their son-in-law. They even threatened Ren Xiaoyao that she could only marry Qin Feng. Otherwise, she would die alone. Qin Feng had left, but everything was developing, and it was developing in a good direction. Qin Feng had already helped the women become martial artists. He even gave them a martial arts secret manual. When the women had nothing to do, they would cultivate together. They had all entered stage 2 inner qi. Lu Wenjing and Zhao Lingxian had even entered stage 3 inner qi. Inside the Divine Dragon Temple, the Divine Dragon stood at the peak of a mountain and looked down at Jindu City. Qin Shao suddenly walked in. Master. The Divine Dragon didn't look at Qin Shao. His voice seemed to come from far away. How is Qin Feng now? According to the informant in Zhongchuan City, Qin Feng hasn't done anything. He rented a house and stays in there every day. However, the woman who came to find Qin Feng has become thinner. A hint of doubt flashed in the Divine Dragon's deep black eyes. Thinner? What do you mean? I don't know. That woman was originally very fat, but she became thinner recently. At first, the informant thought that Qin Feng found a new woman. However, according to these days of observation, it wasn't another woman. It was the woman who came to Mount Divine Dragon to find Qin Feng 3 days ago. The Divine Dragon only cared about Qin Feng. As for whether Ma Xinxin was thinner or not, it had nothing to do with him. A hint of dissatisfaction flashed in the Divine Dragon's eyes. He lowered his voice and said, "Tell them to find useful information. Don't worry about that woman." Qin Shao was so scared that his body trembled. He hurriedly replied, "Okay, I'll give the order now." Chapter 875. When Ma Xinxin woke up, she realized that Qin Feng was famous. Qin Feng, look, your Weibo fans have broken through the 100,000 mark. Ma Xinxin became fatter after a nap. Qin Feng fell in love with this woman's physique. It was as if she was born for Qin Feng. How did I become famous? Did my Weibo fans exceed 100 million? Qin Feng hastily jumped from the sofa to the bed. More than 100 million? Why do you keep thinking about the impossible every day? Your number of fans has exceeded 100,000. It has increased to 100,000 in one night. This is already a miracle. 100,000. Qin Feng shook his head, expressing his dissatisfaction. Ma Xinxin rolled her eyes at Qin Feng. She was completely speechless. As a newcomer, gaining 100,000 fans on the 3rd day of his debut was more than enough to make an average person lose sleep. Ma Xinxin ignored Qin Feng and continued reading the comments. To Ma Xinxin, this was a very interesting thing, because most of the comments were about Qin Feng's ugliness. Ma Xinxin was very happy when she read the comments. Goddess Sherman is right. Everyone should support Zheng Shuai. With his looks, he still has the courage to live, and he dares to challenge the impossible to become a singer. We should learn from him. Apart from other things, Zheng Shuai's voice is very charming. Sigh. Why does Zheng Shuai have to show his face in a video? It's better if he records songs quietly. Maybe I'll fall in love with him. Good job, Zheng Shuai. You're China's big brother Li Ji. Ma Xinxin covered her mouth and giggled from time to time. Her fat jiggled and her breasts bounced. Qin Feng, come here. Someone wants to discuss a business partnership with you. Ma Xinxin became excited again as she read the comments. What partnership? No deal if the appearance fee is less than 5 million. Qin Feng might not be famous, but he was very courageous. Soon, Ma Xinxin's excitement dissipated, and the corners of her mouth curled up. She was laughing so hard that she couldn't breathe. Haha, Qin Feng, there's a plastic surgery hospital. They want you to be their spokesperson. Die. Also this person is from a charity organization. They do charity for the disabled, and they want you to be their ambassador. They want to use your deeds to tell the disabled to live bravely. This event is great. Qin Feng, you should go. You can also help those poor people. The corners of Qin Feng's mouth were already crooked. What was going on? I'm not going. If you want to go, then go. You're still alive and kicking even though you're so fat. Your big sister Li Ji. Qin Feng complained. Ma Xinxin hadn't kissed Qin Feng yet, so she regained her previous chubbiness. She got angry and started to yell again. Also, this is the representative of the King of Masked Singers selection panel. They would like to invite you to participate in the King of Masked Singers competition. There's a newly opened dating website. They hope that you can register as a member representative of their platform. This is good, this is good. This is the director of a zoo. He wants to introduce a group of wild orangutans to expand the sightseeing program. He is paying you to go. Ma Xinxin was taking revenge on Qin Feng. She specifically picked out the comments that attacked Qin Feng and read them out loud. The corners of Qin Feng's mouth were already twitching. He threw himself onto the bed and pressed Ma Xinxin down. What are you doing? Ma Xinxin was so scared that she threw her cell phone away. In the next second, she realized that she couldn't speak because her mouth was blocked by Qin Feng. Qin Feng turned his grief and indignation into strength. He ferociously sucked the poisonous gas in Ma Xinxin's body. He wished that he could suck Ma Xinxin's tongue off. The poisonous gas surged violently and recklessly in Qin Feng's body. However, Qin Feng was already used to it. He easily suppressed and converted the poisonous gas into his own inner qi. Bang! A loud sound spread. Qin Feng advanced from stage 5 inner qi to stage 6 inner qi in a short while. At this moment, Ma Xinxin became thinner, and the poisonous gas in her body was sucked dry by Qin Feng. You're so annoying. No, I don't want to talk to you. Ma Xinxin used all her strength to push Qin Feng away. She felt like she was kissed forcefully. She was a little shy and excited at the same time. Sucking the poisonous gas was like eating a delicious breakfast. Qin Feng felt much better. Ma Xinxin picked up her cell phone and shyly leaned against the headboard to continue reading the comments. She pretended that nothing had happened. The new songs that Qin Feng uploaded yesterday also received a lot of response. Each of the videos had over 200,000 views, more than 30,000 comments, more than 10,000 views. Other than those pranks and invitations to Qin Feng, there were also some companies that sincerely invited Qin Feng to be their spokesperson. However, most of them were small companies and studios that invited Qin Feng to be their spokesperson. Qin Feng, there's a supermarket that's about to open. The boss added you on Weibo and wants to invite you to sing live on the day of the event. I think it's a good idea. We're short of money anyway. Do you want to accept it? Ma Xinxin had never been a manager before. Now she felt that being a manager was quite fun. She could accept some performances when she was free. I'm not going. Qin Feng flatly refused. Ma Xinxin said with a bitter face. Why not? Do you think the other party's performance is too small? But you've just started out, so you need to take on more activities to increase your popularity. This way, you can slowly receive large-scale performances. Ma Xinxin said with a bitter face. I won't go even if the big companies look for me. I want to maintain a sense of mystery, so that my fans will multiply in the future. Although Qin Feng had never been a celebrity before, he understood this industry quite well. Sometimes, too much exposure would cause people to develop visual fatigue. Many famous A-list celebrities almost never appeared on variety shows, and there were pitifully few interviews and activities. However, the popularity of those celebrities rose all the way because they were too mysterious, which instead whetted everyone's appetite. After saying so much, you still think you're too ugly now. Ma Xinxin's words hit the nail on the head. Qin Feng felt a sharp pain in his heart. The two of them chatted for a while and parted on bad terms. Qin Feng's phone just happened to ring. It was a call from Liya. Xiaoya, are you done? Yes. I just finished. I'm resting now. Are you coming out? I'll treat you to coffee. Sure, tell me a location. I'll go over right now. Just as Qin Feng hung up, Ma Xinxin glared at him unhappily. Who is it? Who else could it be? That beautiful policewoman from yesterday. After suffering a setback at Ma Xinxin's hands, Qin Feng looked at her proudly. Why is she looking for you? Don't go out, in case you scare others. When Ma Xinxin saw Liya yesterday, she felt some hostility in her heart. Even Ma Xinxin herself couldn't explain that kind of rejection. How can I reject someone who asked me out to see a movie? And it's a private room movie. Do what you want. Qin Feng had already put on his coat. Ma Xinxin was a little angry, but she couldn't show it. Otherwise, if Qin Feng knew that she was jealous, it would be embarrassing. I can't be bothered with you. Go wherever you want. If you come back late, I won't open the door for you. Oh, then you should go to sleep first. I might not even come back tonight. Qin Feng glanced at Ma Xinxin and ran out. Ma Xinxin grabbed the pillow beside the bed and threw it at the door. She was so angry that she was about to explode. Leah asked Qin Feng to go to the happy coffee shop. Qin Feng immediately stopped a taxi and rushed over. Qin Feng, over here. Just as he entered the room, Leah stood up and waved at Qin Feng. Many of the other customers inside stared at Leah, unable to take their eyes off her. Qin Feng walked to the opposite side of Leah and sat down. Leah chose to sit by the French window, where she could see the scenery outside and the warm sunlight. Because Leah was tall and beautiful, she attracted a lot of male gazes when she came in. A few of them were even prepared to talk to Leah. But in the end, they saw Qin Feng coming over. Seeing Qin Feng's appearance, everyone was depressed. What kind of taste did beauties have these days? Have you been waiting for a long time? There was already a cup of coffee in front of Qin Feng. Qin Feng did not stand on ceremony and took a sip. Leah changed into a white dress with a low neckline, revealing some of the whiteness in front of her chest. She looked sexy and enchanting. It hasn't been long. Where's that girlfriend? That's not my girlfriend, it's my manager. How could Qin Feng not guess what Leah was thinking? She was testing him. Manager? Then it's a friend. Leah's words were shocking. Qin Feng almost spat out a mouthful of black coffee on Leah's face. We are very simple. Friends. When Qin Feng said this, he felt a little guilty. Leah laughed coldly, but did not pursue the matter. She could be considered a tactful woman. You're really romantic. There are beauties accompanying you wherever you go. Oh right. What are you planning to do in Zhongchuan City? Another secret mission from the Dragon Gate? Leah's red lips took a sip of coffee, leaving an alluring lip mark on the cup. I guess so. I want to stay here for a while and prepare to become a celebrity. Cough cough. Leah accidentally choked and immediately patted her chest. Become a star? Are you kidding? Qin Feng's gaze fell on Leah's trembling chest, and after looking at it a few times he said, No, I'm serious. I want to be an all-rounder, a first-rate celebrity. Qin Feng's face was serious. Even Leah could not tell if he was joking or serious. So you specially made an ugly face to rely on your talent to become a celebrity? Leah found it hard to understand Qin Feng's actions. To put it bluntly, are you fucking sick? You even found out about this. You really are my confidant. I really think so. Qin Feng was a little excited. Leah didn't even dare to drink her coffee, afraid that she would spit it out. After a while, Leah finally accepted the fact that Qin Feng wanted to be a celebrity. Then what talent do you have? To be a celebrity, you either have to rely on your face or your talent. Right now you can only choose the latter. Qin Feng had originally planned to rely on the latter to become famous, but when Leah said it, Qin Feng was a little unhappy. Qin Feng felt that relying on his talent to become famous was a challenge, so he chose it this way. However, Leah meant that Qin Feng had no choice but to choose it this way. Chapter 876. Ding! Congratulations to host Qin Feng for further developing Chinese medicine and making Chinese medicine famous. The system rewards you with a set of mysterious fire ice needles. As Qin Feng chatted, the system's beep suddenly sounded in his mind. According to the extent to which Chinese medicine was promoted, Qin Feng would be given some rewards from time to time. The 5 poison needles, 100 grass sutra, emerald spirit ring and other items were all rewards for this mission. Qin Feng did not have the time to promote Chinese medicine right now, so it seemed that the students of the medical school in the capital had achieved good results. Qin Feng, what are you thinking about? Halfway through her sentence, Leah realized that Qin Feng was in a daze. This made Leah extremely angry. You're actually distracted when you're dating a beauty like her? Oh, I recorded a few songs, you can listen to them. Qin Feng came back to his senses and quickly changed the topic. He took out his phone and opened some of the videos he had recorded before. Leah curiously moved a chair over to Qin Feng's side. Just as she came over, Qin Feng smelled a burst of perfume. Listen and see if I have the ability to be a singer. Qin Feng handed the phone over to Leah. Leah's face was full of curiosity. She never thought that Qin Feng would really be developing towards becoming a singer. She put on her headphones and turned on the video. In an instant, Leah was intoxicated, her beautiful eyes flickered, and she gradually became confused, as if her memories had floated back to the past, and she was looking back at the course of her life. Qin Feng did not disturb Leah, and quietly sat at the side, admiring Leah's exquisite facial features and fair long legs. Time seemed to have stopped. Leah listened to one song after another, and in one breath, she finished listening to all 5 songs that Qin Feng had recorded. How is it? It's not bad. Without needing Leah to say anything, Qin Feng knew that it was definitely not bad. Otherwise, she wouldn't have listened for so long. This is all sung by you? Don't tell me you lip-synced first, and then used software to synthesize your voice? This doesn't sound like your voice. Leah was still a little shocked, and had not completely recovered from her shock. Where am I going to synthesize it? Do you think I have nothing better to do? Qin Feng was a little speechless. Leah calmed down for a while, drank a big mouthful of coffee, and then said, Qin Feng, before I became a police officer, I participated in the Miss Hong Kong competition, and I know a lot of people in the entertainment industry. I can help you promote it. Qin Feng just happened to need someone to help him advertise, and coincidentally bumped into Leah in Zhongchuan City. Qin Feng did not stand on ceremony with Leah. All right, I'll send you the video now. You can just help me send it to your friends in the entertainment industry when you have time. As for the matter of Qin Feng becoming a celebrity, Leah could not accept it even after a long time. After chatting for a while, Qin Feng brought the topic to Leah. Don't always talk about me. How have you been lately? Are you comfortable with the work here? Qin Feng's sudden concern for Leah made Leah extremely happy. It's all right, I've just arrived. It's normal for me to not be used to it. I'll be fine after a while. Have you dealt with One-Eyed Dragon and Li Hui? We've already interrogated them. They're indeed colluding with the underworld. Then we'll go through the legal process. As Leah spoke, she raised her eyebrows. I have another big case in my hands that gives me a headache. Tell me about it. Qin Feng took a sip of his coffee and said, Zhongchuan City has just developed in recent years. Due to its rapid development, the flow of people here is very complicated. Most of them are foreigners, and there are many hidden dangers in the public security area. In the past 6 months, there have been many cases of people going missing in Zhongchuan City. According to the internal statistics of our bureau, 108 people have gone missing in the past 6 months. This number has already attracted the attention of the higher-ups. It just so happened that I rushed over at this time. Leah usually wouldn't talk about work with others, but when she saw Qin Feng, Leah couldn't help but complain. Missing people? Qin Feng raised his eyebrows. Thinking back to when he was in Acropolis City, Lu Bingbing had also encountered a missing person case. Is there no clue at all? Leah pouted. From a capable and experienced policewoman, she turned into a cute little woman. No, otherwise I wouldn't be worried. Qin Feng was silent for a while, then said, I suggest you go back to the station and start with One-Eyed Dragon and the others. Maybe there will be some clues. Them? Why do you say that? Leah suddenly became serious. It's hard to say right now. Go back and ask. Qin Feng already had some guesses of his own. All right, I'll listen to you. Qin Feng and Leah enjoyed an afternoon of sunbathing and drinking coffee. The atmosphere was peaceful. The two of them chatted a lot and chatted happily. Seeing that the sun was starting to set, the two of them left the coffee shop. Oh right, you're not a martial artist. It's very dangerous to be a police officer. Qin Feng thought about the mixed environment of Zhongchuan City and was a little worried for Leah. Qin Feng, I was just about to ask you something today. You're so powerful. Can you teach me how to cultivate? Leah became excited. Of course Qin Feng could let Leah cultivate, as long as he fed her a blood qi pill. However, Qin Feng did not plan to do so. He had just obtained a set of mysterious fire ice needles. This was an acupuncture technique manual. According to the system's introduction, only cultivators who possess both fire and ice attributes could perform this acupuncture technique. The main effect of this acupuncture technique was to cleanse one's body, allowing an ordinary person to be reborn and embark on the path of a martial artist's cultivation. There's a way, but it's not convenient. Qin Feng pretended to be in a difficult position. Is there really a way? Then hurry up and help me. What kind of relationship do we have? What's so inconvenient about it? Because of her identity as a police officer, Leah had come into contact with Chinese martial artists a long time ago. After witnessing the powerful skills of martial artists, Leah was extremely envious. Ugh. You really want to try? Of course. What do you want me to do? I'll do whatever you want. Leah held onto Qin Feng's arm, her movements extremely natural. Previously in Hong Kong, she had always been acting as Qin Feng's girlfriend. Cough cough. I can use acupuncture to help you cleanse your marrow and change your physique. You can cultivate right away. Qin Feng said. Wow. So simple? Then let's start now. Leah jumped up excitedly. Then we'll have to find a house first. Qin Feng said seriously. Leah suddenly felt that something was wrong. She let go of Qin Feng's arm and said vigilantly, "Why are you looking for a house? Aren't you going to help me become a martial artist? Cutting hair and washing marrow is not simple. I need 108 silver needles to pierce through all the acupuncture points in your body. So you have to take off your clothes and cooperate with me." Qin Feng resisted the urge to maintain his righteous and unfathomable appearance. Leah was shocked and started to suspect Qin Feng's true intentions. "No, is there no other way?" Leah asked Qin Feng carefully. "No, I can only cleanse my body. This method is the most effective, and it doesn't have any side effects. Not everyone knows how to use the mystic fire ice needle. It is rather strenuous for me to execute it. I wouldn't even help ordinary people when they ask me for help. If you are not willing, then I will return first." Qin Feng pretended to be angry, glanced at Leah, then turned and left. Leah stood at the entrance of the coffee shop in a daze. Looking at Qin Feng's back figure that was getting smaller and smaller, she immediately chased after him. "Hey, why are you so stingy? At most, I'll let you stab me." Leah caught up to Qin Feng and immediately grabbed his arm, mainly because she was afraid that he would run away. Qin Feng suppressed the joy in his heart and said expressionlessly, "How can I not be angry? What kind of relationship do we have? We are comrades who have gone through life and death together in Hong Kong. You still doubted my intentions just now, right? All right then, I won't give you any needles." It's really a thankless task. Qin Feng was the only one who could do such a shameless thing, even after getting a bargain. However, Leah had a guilty look on her face. It was obvious that she believed Qin Feng's nonsense. "Sorry, I was too petty. Let's go, I'll take you to my apartment. You have to help me become a martial artist." Leah hugged Qin Feng's arm even tighter. As if to please Qin Feng, she purposely rubbed her chest against Qin Feng's arm a few times. That feeling was too wonderful for words, and Qin Feng was overjoyed. As night fell, the street lights lit up. Across the sea, one could see the night view and prosperity of Hong Kong. And the development of Zhongchuan City was also extremely rapid. In the midst of the bright lights, all kinds of people came and went. Qin Feng and Leah leisurely walked through the crowd on the street, as if they were a couple taking a stroll. It was filled with a warm and sweet feeling. Leah's apartment was allocated by the police station. It was a single apartment with one room and one living room. The environment inside was not bad, and the decorations were also of a high grade. "Qin Feng, why don't you go sit on the sofa for a while? I'll make dinner for you." After entering the room, Leah became nervous. She was not ready to take off her clothes and be stabbed, so she found something else to do to stall for time. "There's no need to eat. Let's get down to business first. Let's go to the bed in your room. It's easier to pose there than on the sofa." Qin Feng waved his hand and said, "Ah, what posture? What are you going to do with the needles?" Leah was shocked, and even regretted bringing Qin Feng back. Qin Feng saw that he had accidentally said something wrong, and immediately said with a serious expression, "What are you thinking? The mysterious fire ice needle is very complicated. Not only does it have to be stabbed in the front, it also has to be stabbed in the back. Qin Feng heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. He even started to feel proud of his reaction speed. Leah was still a little nervous, but she had already come this far, so it wouldn't be good to retreat. Then I'll go back to my room first. I'll call you when I'm done. Leah's beautiful face was flushed red. Her voice carried a hint of Hong Kong accent, causing Qin Feng's entire body to go numb. Qin Feng sat on the sofa and ate some fruits. Leah had already entered the house, and not long later, Leah's delicate voice came from inside the house. Qin Feng, I'm done, you can come. Brother Ashue's temper is explosive. He loves to give you rewards whenever he doesn't agree with you. Why don't you go to heaven? Young Master Du is waiting for you to soar in the sky. This month, young Master Du updated 4 times a day, but he discovered a serious problem. The subscription was dropping very quickly. Could it be that everyone didn't like young Master Du too much? Then young Master Du should reflect on himself. Please subscribe. Chapter 877. Just as Qin Feng walked into Liya's boudoir, he was surrounded by the fragrance of flowers. The room was clean and tidy, and there was a double bed. The bed sheet was a bright red color that made people restless, and Leah was sitting on it. Leah's body was covered with a pure white wool blanket. From the looks of her bare arms, she had indeed taken off her clothes, but there were still black shoulder straps on her shoulders. It seemed like she had not taken them off completely enough. Take off your underwear too. Qin Feng stood beside the bed with an indifferent expression. Leah had been hesitating whether to take off her underwear or not. She didn't think that Qin Feng would ask her to take it off as soon as he entered the room. Must I take it off? You still want to tie your chest? Leah was scared out of her wits. How abnormal was this Qin Feng? Don't ask so much. Hurry up and take it off. I'm helping you become a martial artist. This is a very sacred thing. What are you thinking about? Qin Feng was a little impatient. Leah was too embarrassed to ask any further. She could only bury her head under the blanket and start to take off her underwear. Qin Feng sat on the edge of the bed. On the surface, he maintained a calm expression, but his heart was about to jump out of his throat. A rustling sound came from behind him, tickling Qin Feng's heart. Very quickly, Leah threw a set of black inner body beside the bed. Qin Feng couldn't help but take a few more glances. I'm done. Leah's shy face was boiling hot. Her entire body felt like it was about to ignite. Qin Feng was already on the bed. With a wave of his hand, a cloth bag appeared in front of him. Inside the bag were silver needles of different lengths. Seeing that Qin Feng was well prepared and had a professional posture, Leah's nervousness finally calmed down a little. She started to feel guilty in her heart again. It seemed that Qin Feng really did not think too much about it, but he thought wrongly. Pull the blanket away and lie down. Qin Feng didn't look at Leah. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to control himself if he did. In order to become a martial artist, Leah had thrown caution to the wind. She clenched her teeth, threw away the wool blanket, and lay on her back in front of Qin Feng. Hiss! Instantly, Qin Feng took a deep breath, and his eyes widened. Leah's figure was perfect, the arc was astonishing. Her skin was snow-white and delicate, and there were circles of red on it. Her calves were as thick as her thighs, slender and straight, and her lower abdomen was flat without any excess fat. Leah had already closed her eyes. She was too embarrassed to open them. If she met Qin Feng's gaze, how embarrassing would that be? Qin Feng looked at Leah's main body a few more times, then picked up a row of silver needles. Whoosh! With a wave of his hand, 6 silver needles fell down and pierced into Leah's delicate skin. The moment his palm came into contact with her skin, Qin Feng felt it was very wonderful. Leah felt it was even more wonderful and couldn't help but cry out. Her coquettishly grumbling with a Hong Kong accent was too alluring. Qin Feng didn't dare to let his imagination run wild. He hurriedly suppressed the fire in his stomach and calmed his chaotic thoughts. Swish, swish, swish. With the rise and fall of his hand, Leah's body was quickly covered with silver needles. This was Qin Feng's first time using the mysterious fire frost needle technique. However, because he already had the 5 elements needle technique. Qin Feng's acupuncture technique had reached the point of perfection. Rumble. On Qin Feng's right hand, a ball of flame suddenly appeared. This sudden sound startled Liya. She instinctively opened her eyes and exclaimed, "Ah! Your hand is on fire." Stab! Another crisp sound rang out. Qin Feng's right hand was covered in a layer of ice. At the same time, Qin Feng's calm voice rang out. "Don't speak, lie down peacefully." Qin Feng had one hand on fire and the other on ice. This was the essence of the mysterious fire frost needle. At this moment, Liya completely believed that Qin Feng was really helping her become a martial artist, and did not have any ulterior motives. This miraculous acupuncture technique caused Liya to be dumbstruck. Flames and extreme ice rang out from time to time, and the silver needles that landed on Liya's body alternated between hot and cold. Liya felt as if her body had 2 extremes. One moment it was as if she had entered a hot desert. The next moment it was as if she had fallen into the bitter cold of the North Pole. Liya was still shouting from time to time, but it was a painful sound. The invasion of the ice and flames was not that fun, especially for ordinary people. This was a type of torture, but without torture, how could they achieve the effect of cutting hair and washing marrow? Sit up. After the acupuncture point in front of him was finished, Qin Feng helped Liya up. The skin on Liya's body was too slippery. As Qin Feng touched it, it slipped to other parts a few times. However, Liya did not care about this. She had a pained expression on her face, as she fought against the ice and flames in her body. Qin Feng could feel Liya's torment, but he did not divert his attention to admire Liya's body or take advantage of her. Instead, he focused all his attention on the acupuncture, trying to complete the process of cutting hair and washing marrow as soon as possible. Ka-ka-ka. Waves of subtle sounds spread out from Liya's body, like the sound of bones cracking. The effects of cutting hair and washing marrow had already begun to show. A layer of black dirt appeared on Liya's originally white skin. Liya also felt that the meridians and bones in her body were undergoing changes. The changes were very subtle but also very magical. 10 minutes later, the acupuncture points on Liya's back had also been pierced by Qin Feng. This set of mysterious fire frost needles could be considered to have been completely completed. This was the first time Qin Feng had used such a heaven-defying acupuncture technique. Even though he was currently at the 6th level, he was actually so tired that he was drenched in sweat. "Qin Feng, are you all right?" Qin Feng laid beside Liya, panting heavily. Liya nervously bent over to check on Qin Feng, but Qin Feng stopped her. "Don't move around. Sit for another 10 minutes and I'll pull out the needles for you." Liya immediately sat up straight, not daring to move an inch. Qin Feng was lying beside Liya's thigh, and his breath was filled with the fragrance of Liya's thigh. Qin Feng raised his head and looked at Liya. He had seen everything that he shouldn't have seen. Of course, Liya could feel Qin Feng's burning gaze. However, when she thought about how Qin Feng was so tired that he was paralyzed in order to help her cut hair and wash her marrow, Liya pretended not to know anything as a reward for Qin Feng. After another 10 minutes, Qin Feng's physical strength recovered a little. Liya's body was completely covered in a layer of filth, as if she was wearing a set of black clothes. These filth were the toxins and filth that had accumulated in Liya's body for more than 20 years since she was born. This was the effect of cutting hair and washing marrow, changing a person's body, and achieving the effect of being reborn. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Qin Feng waved both of his hands. His speed was so fast that it created many afterimages. In less than a minute, all 108 silver needles on Liya's body had been removed by Qin Feng. In an instant, Liya felt as if her entire body was floating, as if she was going to float up. "Hurry up and take a bath," Qin Feng said as he looked at Liya. Liya immediately regained her senses. Just as she was about to get off the bed and go to the bathroom, she realized that she could not move. I don't think I can move." Liya's expression was a little nervous. Could it be that there was a mistake with the acupuncture? This was the first time Qin Feng had used the profound fire ice needle to help someone cleanse their marrow and bones, so he was not sure about Liya's current situation. "Master, The effects of the mystic fire freezing needles are very powerful. They can change a normal person's body into a body suitable for cultivation. The person who was injected with the needles will need to rest for 3 hours to return to normal. It's normal for the body to be stiff and unable to move. Little Pig's voice rang out. Looking at Li Ye, who was covered in dirt and sitting on the bed, Qin Feng said truthfully, "Xiaoya, you have to sit on the bed for 3 hours before you can move, and then you can cultivate." Li Ye's expression was shocked. But my body is covered in dirt. The bed sheets are going to get dirty. And these things are sticky. It's so uncomfortable. Qin Feng could not bear to watch any longer. How could the originally white and clean Li Ye endure being surrounded by dirt for 3 hours? Qin Feng bent down and carried Li Ye to the bathroom. What are you doing?" Li Ye wanted to move, but she couldn't. She sat in the bathtub with a nervous expression. "I'll help you bathe, don't think too much." Qin Feng's voice was unquestionable. Before Li Ye could refuse, Qin Feng had already started to turn on the water, and then helped Li Ye wash her body. Although Li Ye could not move, her body's senses were still there. She felt her body being touched by a man, and her entire body was about to burn. The bathroom was filled with an ambiguous atmosphere. Qin Feng was also extremely excited, but he kept suppressing the fire in his belly. How could he lay his hands on a woman he couldn't touch? Qin Feng was obviously unable to do it. After bathing, Li Ye returned to her previous fair and white skin. At this time, Li Ye's skin was tender and white. It was as delicate and soft as a newborn baby's, and could even reflect a trace of sparkling and translucent light. Qin Feng was dumbstruck. After regaining his senses, he immediately carried Li Ye back to the bed. Li Ye was still sitting, and her waist was a little sore from sitting. Qin Feng placed Li Ye down, smoothed her hands and feet, and let her lie on the bed. After doing everything, Qin Feng leaned against Li Ye's bed and looked up and down. Li Ye's face darkened. She was extremely depressed. Help me cover myself with the wool blanket. What if I catch a cold?" Li Ye pouted and complained. Qin Feng took the woolen blanket from the side of the bed and moved his body close to Li Ye's, covering himself and Li Ye together. The corner of Li Ye's mouth twitched. If she could move now, she would definitely kick Qin Feng off the bed. You're pissing me off. How did I anger you?" Qin Feng's face was blank, as if he was pretending to be real. "I told you to cover me, why did you come in?" "I'm also afraid of catching a cold," Qin Feng said seriously. Li Ye gritted her teeth. She was so angry that she couldn't even speak. She couldn't move now, and Qin Feng was still shamelessly refusing to leave. Li Ye was at her wit's end. Qin Feng realized that the profound fire ice needle consumed too much energy. Even with his current level of inner 6, he could barely use this set of needle techniques. After lying on the bed for a while, Qin Feng fell asleep. He tilted his head and directly laid on Li Ye's chest. Li Ye's face turned red from embarrassment. She wanted to wake Qin Feng up, but seeing Qin Feng's tired expression, Li Ye couldn't bear to do so. After an unknown period of time, Li Ye also fell asleep. As she fell asleep, the two of them hugged each other. Chapter 878. When she woke up early in the morning, Li Ye was shocked. Qin Feng was sleeping soundly, but he was woken up by Li Ye's scream. After calming down, Li Ye remembered what had happened last night. At that time, Li Ye had watched Qin Feng fall asleep on her, and did not care about him. Now, Li Ye could not say anything to Qin Feng. The effect of the mysterious fire ice needle was not bad. After Li Ye woke up, her body could already move. She felt that there was an additional qi in her dantian, and she could control this qi on her own. Li Ye successfully stepped into the ranks of martial artists. Before Qin Feng left, he gave her a martial arts secret manual and some pills. However, Li Ye had just stepped into the first level of inner qi, so Qin Feng suggested that she cultivate for a few more days before considering eating pills to break through. Time flew by like the clouds. In the blink of an eye, Qin Feng had been in Zhongchuan City for more than a week. In the next few days, Qin Feng stayed in the house to record videos and upload them. With Rao Sherman's help and Li Ye's publicity, Qin Feng's fame had increased by more than 10 times. "Qin Feng, another entertainment company wants to sign you," Are you going? Ma Xinxin had been extremely busy these days. She was browsing Weibo, reading comments, posting videos, and selectively replying to some content. She was simply about to be nurtured into a qualified manager by Qin Feng. No. Qin Feng's voice came from the bathroom. He was taking a shower. These days, Qin Feng's Weibo fans had already broken through the 1 million mark. The total number of comments on all the videos had been checked over 100,000. Qin Feng's Weibo had gone crazy. More and more companies were looking for Qin Feng to cooperate with. This time, it was a serious entertainment company. The companies were of different sizes and backgrounds. This time, Qin Feng was really popular. However, Qin Feng still maintained a low profile. He was determined not to sign a contract, show his face, or participate in any interviews or activities. Qin Feng, this entertainment company is very famous in the mainland. The Beautiful Girl Group is currently signed under their company's name. This is the third time they've asked you out. Do you want to think about it again? Don't you want to break through 20 million fans? If you sign a contract with this company and let them publicize it, you might really be able to meet your expectations. Qin Feng walked out of the bathroom with a towel wrapped around his body and was drying his hair with it. What company? Qin Feng asked casually. Starry Live Media. The headquarters is in the capital. Now the person in charge of the branch in Zhongchuan City is asking you. Why don't we go and have a look? You have nothing better to do anyway. Ma Xinxin had heard of Starlight Media, which was a company opened by Yang Ken, the son of the Yang family, one of the 4 big families in the capital. It was still very famous in the entertainment circle. Starlight Media? That sounds familiar. Who's the head of the capital? Qin Feng raised his eyebrows. One of the 4 young masters, Yang Can. No wonder it sounded so familiar. When Rao Sherman and Zhang Kekuo went to Provincial Capital University for a concert, Yang Qin and Lu Shu had the idea of seducing the 2 women. At that time, Yang Qin mentioned the Starlight Media Company. So it's my little brother's company. Then how can I go? I'll lose face. Qin Feng flatly refused and continued to dry his hair. The corner of Ma Xinxin's mouth twitched. She didn't know that Qin Feng had subdued the capital's 4 young masters, so she thought Qin Feng was bragging again. Seeing Qin Feng's resolute attitude, Ma Xinxin was at her wits' end. In just a few days, Qin Feng had rejected no less than 20 entertainment companies' invitations. Ma Xinxin could only do as Qin Feng said. She replied to the person in charge of Starlight Media in Zhongchuan City, and politely refused the other party's invitation. At the same time, on the main floor of Starlight Media Company in Zhongchuan City, Xiaobin slammed the table and stood up. Xiaobin was the person in charge of the Starlight Media Company's branch in Zhongchuan City. Because Zhongchuan City had just begun to develop, this branch was only invested in it half a year ago. Now the branch needed to sign a large number of star artists. Xiaobin took a fancy to Zheng Shuai, who was recently a hot topic on Weibo. He invited Zheng Shuai 3 times in a row, but he didn't expect to be rejected 3 times. Xiaobin was very angry. He was transferred from the capital's Starlight Media Company. Previously, when he was in the capital's head office, even the A-list stars didn't dare to give Xiaobin a face easily. Now, a newcomer who had just become famous dared to throw Xiaobin's face? Fei Fei, come to my company. Xiaobin's face was ferocious. He picked up the internal phone on the table and made a call. After a while, the office door was knocked, and a tall, beautiful assistant in a black silk uniform came in. Director Zhao, are you looking for me? Fei Fei wore heavy makeup and was dressed enchanting and sexy. When she spoke, she winked at Xiaobin from time to time. Xiaobin looked at the hot Fei Fei, suppressed the anger in his stomach and said, "Ask the manager of the Public Relations Department to investigate Zheng Shuai. Find out his contact information and address for me as soon as possible." Fei Fei was slightly stunned and asked, "Director Zhao, the Zheng Shuai you mentioned, is he the singer who has become popular recently?" "Yes, it's that guy who doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. He dared to throw my face. I'll let him know my power." Xiaobin was furious. Fei Fei walked to Xiaobin with cat-like steps, touched Xiaobin's chest with a pair of jade-like hands, and said in an ambiguous voice, "Director Zhao, why are you so angry?" He's just a newcomer. It's normal for him to be ignorant. I'll go to the public relations department to investigate that guy later. I'll teach him a lesson then. After Director Zhao cursed a few times, the anger in his heart dissipated a lot. Looking at Fei Fei, who took the initiative to throw herself into his arms, Zhao Bin turned over and directly pressed Fei Fei on the desk. You little vixen, looks like I didn't feed you enough last night. I'll let you have a good time today. Zhao Bin converted the remaining anger into evil fire and pressed it on Fei Fei's body in full swing. The office was loud and clear. Some employees who wanted to report to Zhao Bin quickly retreated. They were used to this kind of passion in the office. The entertainment industry was chaotic. Qin Feng's popularity grew higher and higher. The situation was out of control. More and more film and entertainment companies signed contracts with Qin Feng. Many producers of variety shows personally invited Qin Feng to be a guest, but Qin Feng rejected them all. He was too lazy to show his face in public. 2 days later, Qin Feng's Weibo fans broke through the 1.5 million mark. It was more than 200,000 in one day. The growth rate of more than 200,000 stunned Ma Xinxin. Xinxin, the doorbell is ringing. Go see if it's food delivery. Qin Feng was recording a new song. Ma Xinxin ran to the door in her slippers. Soon, Qin Feng heard Ma Xinxin scream. Who are you people? Get out. Quick, get out. Bitch, shut the fuck up or we'll fuck you. Is this Zheng Shuai's house? Where's that grandson? Hearing the quarrel, a cold expression flashed across Qin Feng's face. He put down his guitar and went to the door. There were already 8 strong men in suits in the room. All 8 of them wore black sunglasses. They looked like they were in the Matrix. Ma Xinxin quickly retreated to Qin Feng's side and anxiously held his arm. They barged in. Qin Feng put his arm around Ma Xinxin's shoulder and patted her arm. They didn't bully you, right? Ma Xinxin hastily shook her head. Fortunately, I dodged quickly. That person standing in front of me almost touched my chest. A murderous look flashed across Qin Feng's eyes. He and Ma Xinxin had been living together for a long time. He already saw Ma Xinxin as his own. If anyone dared to bully Ma Xinxin, Qin Feng would make them regret coming to this world. Big brother, that brat is Zheng Shuai. A tall man in the crowd shouted excitedly. The man standing in front wore a white suit. He took off his sunglasses and looked at Qin Feng with a playful expression. Are you sure it's that brat? Big brother, it's definitely him. In this world, I've never seen a man uglier than Zheng Shuai. Just as the underling finished speaking, the crowd burst into laughter. Even the corners of Ma Xinxin's mouth twitched, but she resisted the urge to laugh. Stinking brat, you're very cocky, aren't you? After confirming Qin Feng's identity, the man in the white suit sloppily walked to Qin Feng's side. I'm pretty cocky, but what does that have to do with you? Qin Feng said indifferently. The man in the white suit froze for a moment, then laughed wildly. Haha. Good, good. Your elder likes to take care of wild dogs like you. It's more fun to fight if you bark a few more times. Otherwise, I'm not interested in playing with you like a dead dog. From the moment the group entered the room, they looked confident and didn't think much of Qin Feng. The underling that called Qin Feng ugly grinned and walked to his big brother. He looked hungrily at Ma Xinxin and said, Big brother, that girl is really pretty. Should we have some fun first? It won't be too late to catch that ugly guy then. Once the man in the white suit entered the room, he wanted to touch Ma Xinxin's chest. Of course, he agreed with the underling's suggestion. You guys catch that ugly guy first, I'll be the first one. Ma Xinxin was so angry that her face flushed red. She gritted her teeth, but she didn't make a move. She had strength, but she didn't know how to fight. Qin Feng didn't make a move either. The reason why he didn't make a move was because he felt that he had to teach Ma Xinxin how to fight. Otherwise, when he wasn't by her side in the future, this girl would suffer. The underling already pounced with a cold smile and wanted to catch Qin Feng. Qin Feng pulled Ma Xinxin back and said, Xinxin, I'll leave these bastards to you. Use your feet to kick them. How do I kick them? Ma Xinxin suddenly froze. Circulate the qi in your body and gather it in your feet. Then you just have to exert force. Qin Feng pulled a chair over and sat down. He looked like he was really going to watch a show. Ma Xinxin had no room to retreat. Her slender body blocked Qin Feng, and she glared coldly at the 8 brawny men. Ma Xinxin had long since disliked these people. Hee, big brother, this ugly guy is smart enough. He knows he can't beat us, so he let this girl go. He's too fucking shameless. One of the underlings laughed, and the others followed and laughed loudly. The playful look in the man in the white suit's eyes became more intense. At this time, he couldn't be bothered to look at Qin Feng. He waved his hand behind him and said, "Everyone go and catch both of them." Chapter 879. Ma Xinxin panicked as the 7 brawny men pounced on her. She didn't know who to kick. Xian, kick whoever is closest to you. Qin Feng's calm voice drifted over, causing Ma Xian to calm down slightly. At this moment, a wretched man with an unkempt beard arrived in front of Ma Xinxin. He reached out his dirty hands to hug Ma Xinxin. Ma Xinxin was so disgusted that she almost vomited. She didn't care about the consequences. She circulated the poisonous gas in her body and kicked him. Bang! A loud explosion sounded. A cloud of black mist lingered under Ma Xinxin's feet. The man was sent flying. He crashed into the security door and sank into the wall of the corridor. It was just a simple kick, but it stunned everyone. Even Qin Feng's mouth was wide open. Qin Feng knew Ma Xinxin was a stage 4 inner chi martial artist, but her kick just now had the strength of a stage 6 inner chi expert. The cloud of black mist under Ma Xinxin's feet was similar to the black mist released by the ghost face mountain man. However, there was no evil in the black mist, so Qin Feng couldn't figure it out. The other 6 brawny men were stunned, but Ma Xinxin didn't stop. Ma Xinxin wanted these people to stand still. She sent out a few flying kicks, and all 6 of them fell to the ground. Her fighting speed and strength were comparable to Qin Feng, who was now a stage 6 inner chi expert. After sending 7 people flying, Ma Xinxin finally regained her senses. She was stunned by the scene in front of her. Qin Feng, these people were all defeated by me? Qin Feng got up and walked to Ma Xinxin's side. He hugged her and said, "You sent them flying. This is your strength. In the future, you must protect yourself like this when you're in danger." Ma Xinxin was overjoyed. It turned out that beating people up was more enjoyable than watching Qin Feng beat people up. She tightened her body in Qin Feng's embrace and felt a warm feeling in her heart. The man in the white suit was the only one left standing in the room. He was drenched in cold sweat, and the white shirt under his suit was completely soaked. "Who sent you?" Qin Feng's voice was cold. The man in the white suit was so scared that he trembled all over. He had never thought that the beautiful woman in front of him would be so powerful. She had completely subverted the man in the white suit's worldview. The man in the suit didn't dare to hide it anymore. He said cautiously, "Big brother, sister-in-law, please spare my life. I have no hatred with you. It's Mr. Zhao of Starry Light Media, who paid me to teach you a lesson. I know I was wrong. Big brother, sister-in-law, please spare me this time." Starlight Media? There was a flash of doubt on Ma Xinxin's face. She had refused the signing invitation of the person in charge of Starry Live Media a few days ago. Did the person in charge come to retaliate against Qin Feng? Wasn't this man too petty? Is what you said true? Qin Feng asked as he looked into the man's eyes. Every word is true. If I dare to lie to big brother and sister-in-law, I will be struck by lightning. The man in the white suit swore an oath. With Qin Feng's current skills, he was very good at reading people. Qin Feng could tell that the man in the white suit was telling the truth. Ma Xinxin was so angry that her face was cold. She couldn't wait to kill Starry Live Media and beat up Mr. Zhao. Since she had just tasted the pleasure of beating people, Ma Xinxin found that she was addicted to fighting. "Well, I can let you go, but you have to go back and find Mr. Zhao. You will give me back what he asked you to do to me." Qin Feng said, Okay, I know. I will take people to avenge Big Brother now." The man in the white suit immediately turned to run. Just as he was halfway there, Qin Feng's icy voice sounded. "Don't be in such a hurry to leave. You messed up my house, broke my door, and broke 2 tiles. Are you going to leave just like that?" The man in the white suit quickly ran back. He had been in the underworld for so long, and he was still very sensible. Big brother, this is all the cash I have. I don't know if it's enough. Qin Feng took a stack of red bills and roughly glanced at them. There were about 2,000 bills, which made Qin Feng very unhappy. Big brother, don't worry. My little brother still has. Seeing Qin Feng's face turn cold, the man in the white suit was so scared that he quickly searched the wallets of his little brothers. There were a total of 8 people, and they had collected more than 10,000 yuan. Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin were short of money now. They had spent all the money before. This more than 10,000 yuan came at the right time. Alright, get out of here. After that, I will inquire about the situation of Mr. Zhao of Starlight Media. If you don't go to find trouble with him, Zhongchuan City is not big. Unless you don't want to stay here anymore, I will find you out one by one. Then this is the end. Boom. As soon as Qin Feng's voice fell, a flame suddenly ignited over the room. The man in the white suit felt that the temperature around him suddenly rose several degrees. The flame was raging and floating in the air. It would not move. He was so scared that he almost peed his pants. Big brother, I will definitely find that guy surnamed Zhao. I will go now. A group of people came in a mighty manner and left in a sorry state. Ma Xinxin breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at the door that was split in half, she said with a bitter face, Qin Feng, our door is gone. Qin Feng threw the 10,000 yuan he had just swindled to Ma Xinxin and said, It's okay. Call a master and find another one. Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin had been poor recently. Seeing so much money, Ma Xinxin's eyes went straight. She grabbed the money in her hand and hid it somewhere. Don't take all the money away. Leave some for me. Qin Feng went to wash his hands and found that all the money was gone. Ma Xinxin rolled her big black eyes and said, No money for you. What do you want money for? I'll take care of your food and drink. If you take the money, who knows where you'll go? Last time Qin Feng helped Li Ye with acupuncture, he slept at Li Ye's house. Because he did not return all night, Ma Xinxin still remembered it. She had to keep a close eye on Qin Feng, and could not always let him go out and mess around. Ma Xinxin suddenly became a little miser. Qin Feng was speechless. The man in the white suit and the others had already arrived at Starlight Media's company. In the company's main floor, Xiaobin had just gotten up from Fei Fei and was putting on his clothes. By the way, Fei Fei, how's the matter I asked you to do? After enjoying himself, Xiaobin thought of business. Fei Fei pulled up her pants and walked to Xiaobin's side. She sat on Xiaobin's lap and said, Director Zhao, don't worry. I contacted a group of gangsters early in the morning to cause trouble for Zheng Shuai. It's about time to come back. Xiaobin had been suppressing his anger these days. He was actually rejected by a newcomer. Hearing that everything had been arranged, Xiaobin felt refreshed. Good job. When that brat is brought over, I'll slap him a few more times and let him know who I am. Bang! The door to the boss's room was suddenly kicked open, causing Fei Fei to jump up from Xiaobin in fright. Xiaobin was about to curse when Fei Fei shouted in surprise, Director Zhao, speak of the devil. These are the people I found to teach Zheng Shuai a lesson. After finding out who they were, Xiaobin suppressed the anger in his heart. He quickly scanned the crowd but didn't find Zheng Shuai. Where's Zheng Shuai? What are you doing? I told you to bring people here. But where did they go? Xiaobin pointed at the man in the white suit and roared. The man in the white suit and the 7 lackeys behind him had cold expressions. They didn't say anything and charged at Xiaobin. You son of a bitch, you dare to yell at me? I'll let you know what kind of place this is. Beat this bastard to death. If it weren't for him, would we have been beaten into the state? 8 people had already surrounded Xiaobin. Before Xiaobin could even react, he was kicked to the ground. However, the fighting didn't stop. This group of people vented all the anger they had suffered at Qin Feng's hands onto Xiaobin. They stomped on him until the whites of his eyes rolled back. What are you doing? Hurry and stop. Fei Fei finally came back to her senses. She was scared half to death by the scene in front of her. She still didn't understand the situation. Why were these people beating Director Zhao? Everyone ignored Fei Fei's shouts and continued to stomp on Xiaobin. At first, Xiaobin was still screaming, but later on, he seemed to have been knocked unconscious and didn't even scream. Enough. Retreat. Looking at Zhao Bin, who had closed his eyes and was spitting white foam, the man in the white suit felt that it was about time. If they continued to fight, it would be troublesome if someone died, so he left with everyone. These people came fiercely and left quickly. If the office wasn't a mess and Zhao Bin was lying on the ground half dead, Fei Fei would have thought that everything was an illusion. Fei Fei ran to Zhao Bin's side and called him a few times, but there was no response. Fei Fei quickly took out her phone and called for an ambulance. Qin Feng didn't know about this when the people in the white suit finished their work. Qin Feng was recording a song in his room when Leah called him. What's wrong, Xiaoya? Qin Feng, One-Eyed Dragon and Li Hui are missing. Leah's tone was anxious. Missing? Did they break out of prison? I don't know the specifics. I was going to investigate, but I was suppressed by the higher-ups. I suspect that there's someone behind One-Eyed Dragon and Li Hui. Leah was now the director of the Central Chuan City's Public Security Bureau, and there were still people who could take them away under her nose. It seemed like One-Eyed Dragon, and Li Hui's backing was not small. Did you ask about One-Eyed Dragon's disappearance? Qin Feng asked. I did, but the day after I asked, the two of them disappeared. Did you get any clues? There are no important clues, but when I interrogated One-Eyed Dragon and Li Hui, the two of them were a little flustered, as if they were hiding something. Leah said truthfully. A few days ago, Qin Feng asked Leah to interrogate One-Eyed Dragon and Li Hui as a starting point for the missing person case. This was because Qin Feng had helped Leah solve the missing person case in Acropolis City, and the mastermind behind that case was the Verdant sect. Qin Feng suspected that the missing person case in Central Chuan City was also related to the Verdant sect, because the circumstances of the two cases were very similar. Xiaoya, you don't have to worry right now. Since One-Eyed Dragon and Li Hui have been released, then don't worry about them. This time, you must have provoked a very powerful force, so pay attention to your own safety. If you find any danger, call me immediately. Since Qin Feng suspected the Verdant sect, then he naturally had to be on guard. The Verdant sect was still very powerful. It was one of the 3 sects in China. Back then, at the pill competition, Qin Feng had to expend a lot of effort to eliminate the Ghost-Face Mountain Man, and even let Li Xiaojie escape. Alright, I understand. I'll call you if I need anything. Leah hung up the phone with Qin Feng, her heart filled with warmth. In this unfamiliar place, Leah originally felt very lonely, but now her heart was filled with warmth, as if she was at home. Chapter 880. Night fell. Under a bridge in Zhongchuan City, 2 figures were sneaking around. Motherfucker, Leah, you bitch, remember this. Sooner or later, I will return to the police station and replace you as the chief. Then, I will press you down and make you a slave for life. I will not let that ugly toad off either. He dared to blind me. I will tear him into pieces. The two were Li Hui and Brother Dulong. Brother Dulong's I was blinded by Qin Feng, and he became an eyeless dragon. He had to rely on Li Hui to walk. The two stopped under the bridge. Brother Dulong could not see anything, and could only sit on the ground. Li Hui looked left and right as if he was waiting for someone. Under the night sky, there was no light on the bridge, and it was pitch black. The cold wind blew by the seaside, and after staying here for a while, Brother Dulong and Li Hui had goosebumps. Brother Li, why isn't the Great Elder here yet? Brother Dulong could not take it anymore. He was now blind, and the fear of the darkness was 100 times stronger than Li Hui's. Don't worry, since we were released, it means that the Verdant sect sent the Great Elder here. Wait patiently. Li Hui was also afraid, but he could only force himself to remain calm. Suddenly, a gust of cold wind blew over, causing Li Hui to lose his footing. He retreated to the bottom of the bridge to stabilize himself. Brother Dulong was so scared that he started to scream. His courage was even smaller than a girl's. The cold wind receded, and a man wrapped in black robes stood on the bridge, as if he came out from the ground. Li Hui forced himself to remain calm, but his voice was still trembling. Is it elderly? The man in black raised his head, revealing a young face. If Qin Feng was here, he would be able to recognize this young man, It was Li Xiaojie who was dissected 3 times by Qin Feng. I am the new elder of the verdant sect, Li Xiaojie. The sect has set their eyes on the development of Zhongchuan City, so they sent me to guard this place. You guys just need to listen to my orders, understand? Li Xiaojie's voice was ice cold, as if it came from hell. Brother Dulong trembled in fear. Li Hui quickly replied, Understood, understood. We will follow elderly wholeheartedly. Big Brother Lone Dragon and Li Hui had colluded in the underworld and controlled the underground forces of Zhongchuan City. Big Brother Lone Dragon would usually let his subordinates dress up as beggars and go around begging. He would also collect protection fees in some important territories. With the development of Brother Dulong and Li Hui, the Verdant sect looked for them. The Verdant sect had their eyes on Zhongchuan City because it was a newly developed city with all sorts of people mixed in. It was a good place to kidnap people for experiments. Brother Dulong and Li Hui had been working with the Verdant sect for the past 6 months. Every month, they would kidnap some outsiders for the Verdant sect, and the Verdant sect would reward them with a large sum of money and jewels. The Verdant sect had taken the two's capture seriously. They had sent Li Xiaojie here to prevent similar incidents from happening again. Li Hui and Brother Dulong had heard of how terrifying China's Verdant sect was. In front of Li Xiaojie, they didn't dare to be careless. Tell me who captured you? Li Xiaojie asked. He was satisfied with Li Hui and Brother Dulong's performance. It's the new director of Zhongchuan City's Public Security Bureau, Li Ya, and a very ugly man, Li Hui quickly replied. Brother Dulong became angry when he heard Qin Feng's name. He added, Elderly, that ugly man is very powerful. He injured a dozen of my brothers. Later, Brother Li brought a dozen police officers to capture him, but they were also beaten up by him. A trace of contempt flashed across Li Xiaojie's eyes. In his opinion, Zhongchuan City was just a new city. How powerful could there be? Li Hui and Brother Dulong were only powerful in the eyes of ordinary people like them. Alright, I'm here to build a branch of the Verdant sect. After I'm done with the construction, I'll avenge you. Follow me for the next few days and cooperate with me on my mission. Li Xiaojie didn't put Li Ya and Qin Feng in his eyes. Elderly, the one-eyed dragon and I pledge our lives to serve you. This night was destined to foreshadow the future of Zhongchuan City. Because the people of the Verdant sect had arrived, a ward in the first hospital of Zhongchuan City was not peaceful either. Xiaobin was lying on the bed, grimacing in pain. His body was covered in bandages, making him look like a zombie. Fei Fei sat by the bed and took care of Xiaobin. However, she was very careful, afraid that she would offend Xiaobin, because Xiaobin was currently angry. Zheng Shuai, you son of a bitch, how dare you find someone to mess with me? You don't want to stay in the Chinese entertainment circle anymore. Do you think I, Xiaobin, am a vegetarian? Just you wait. I'll make you kneel and beg me in a few days. Xiaobin grimaced in pain while cursing. He didn't know how many times he had cursed Qin Feng's ancestors. But even so, he still didn't feel satisfied. Fei Fei, what the fuck are these things you found? How dare you beat me up? How can you do things? After cursing Qin Feng, Xiaobin began to reprimand Fei Fei. Fei Fei was so frightened that her delicate body trembled. She quickly bent down and pressed her exposed white breasts on Xiaobin's face. She rubbed against him and acted like a spoiled child. Io, Director Zhao, don't be angry. I didn't know those hoodlums would betray me. It's my fault this time. I know I was wrong, okay? Please forgive me this time. Fei Fei was a little vixen, seducing Xiaobin with her beauty. Coincidentally, Xiaobin was a pervert. The two of them were in cahoots with each other. Xiaobin smelled the fragrance on Fei Fei's breasts, and the anger in his heart instantly dissipated. He couldn't help but open his mouth and bite down hard. Fei Fei started to scream in pain. Fortunately, the two of them were staying in a VIP ward, and Xiaobin was the only patient. Otherwise, the scene in front of them would be indecent. After nibbling for a while, Xiaobin stopped when the snow-white skin on Fei Fei's chest was red and swollen. If it wasn't for the fact that his whole body was wrapped in bandages, he would have pressed Fei Fei down and done it again. Director Zhao, now you feel good, right? Fei Fei leaned in Xiaobin's arms, and her hand was still touching Xiaobin's thigh. Yes, but if I can beat that ugly freak up, I'll feel even better. Xiaobin was still thinking about teaching Qin Feng a lesson. Director Zhao, that ugly freak is just a newcomer. If you want to beat him up, it'll be a piece of cake. Fei Fei's eyes flickered with a sinister light. What good idea do you have? Tell me. Xiaobin immediately became spirited. He pinched Fei Fei's chest with one hand, and Fei Fei screamed in pain again. Director Zhao, be gentle. Doesn't that ugly freak want to be a singer? We must stop him. With Director Zhao's position in Starlight Media, it should be very easy to ban such a newcomer. Fei Fei revealed the plan in her heart. Xiaobin listened and clapped his hands. Previously, he wanted to beat Qin Feng up to vent his anger, but he forgot his power in the entertainment circle. Okay, let's do that. Zheng Shuai, oh Zheng Shuai, who asked you to offend me? I'll let you know what means is. Chapter 881. Time passed really fast as the growth of Qin Feng's popularity. Under the double recommendation of Rao Sherman and Li Ya, and Qin Feng's continuous uploading of new videos, the number of Qin Feng's Weibo fans had already exceeded the 3 million mark. However, Ma Xinxin discovered a very serious problem. The number of fans hadn't increased explosively for a long time. Xinxin, how's the situation today? Did the number of fans break 5 million? Qin Feng was still very motivated recently, because the number of fans was getting closer and closer to the system's limit of 20 million. Ma Xinxin grimaced and complained. I don't know what's going on, but the number of fans has been increasing very slowly these past 3 days. It seems to be stuck at the 3 million point. Qin Feng took Ma Xinxin's phone and looked at it. As expected, the number of fans hadn't increased greatly for a few days. This sudden situation was a bit strange, and Qin Feng couldn't understand it. Is it because I haven't sung well recently? Qin Feng asked. Ma Xinxin shook her head like a rattle drum. Definitely not. I'm the first listener for every song you upload. I feel that the more you sing, the better you get. Every song has a unique flavor, and you completely beat a large number of popular singers now. Hearing Ma Xinxin's words, Qin Feng was even more puzzled. Then what's going on? Is everyone jealous of my handsomeness? Are they purposely not following me? I don't understand either. This happened so suddenly that I was caught unprepared. Ma Xinxin looked aggrieved. It was clearly Qin Feng who was a star, but when she saw Qin Feng's hard work suddenly being stuck, Ma Xinxin was even more upset and nervous than Qin Feng. Just the number of fans hasn't increased? How are the comments, reposts, and likes? Qin Feng continued to ask. Ma Xinxin's expression changed, and she hurriedly looked at the data related to the comments. She had been staring at the number of fans these days, and forgot to pay attention to other things. Very quickly, Ma Xinxin's expression became more and more disappointed. She discovered that the other data also didn't increase. It was as if Qin Feng had been forgotten by the large number of fiery loyal fans overnight. The 3 newly uploaded songs only have 200 comments so far, but there are quite a lot of reposts, more than 100,000. Where are the songs that I uploaded earlier? Ma Xinxin suddenly realized a problem. Previously, in order to promote Qin Feng, she had posted recordings and videos on various popular video websites and apps. The results were great, but now those recordings and videos have been deleted. Even the previous comments were gone. They're all gone? This is a bit strange. Qin Feng frowned. He already felt that something was wrong. As the daughter of a wealthy family, Ma Xinxin's vision was not low. She quickly thought of a possibility. Qin Feng, I think you've been blacklisted. Qin Feng was slightly taken aback. In the past, he often heard about celebrities being banned. He never thought that one day, he would be banned from the entertainment industry. Why did you ban me? I didn't upload any unhealthy information. Qin Feng was in a bad mood. He was spreading positive energy. Ma Xinxin hesitated and said carefully, could it be that you're too ugly? Are you afraid of dragging down China's attractiveness, so you were banned? Qin Feng glared at Ma Xinxin and prepared to pounce on her to punish her. At this moment, Qin Feng's phone rang. Who is this? The caller was an unknown number. Haha, Zheng Shuai's grandson. How have you been recently? There was a burst of complacent laughter on the other side of the phone. Qin Feng felt that the voice was very strange. Who are you? Haha, you ask who I am? I'm your parent. You want to mix in the entertainment industry? If you don't fucking please me, then you'll have to go to the northwest wind. The person on the other end of the phone was Zhao Bin. These days, he had used all the resources and connections at hand to start to vigorously ban Qin Feng. The videos that were deleted on popular websites and the comments that disappeared were all done by Zhao Bin. Zhao Bin also said that during this time, anyone who dared to cooperate with Zheng Shuai or promote Zheng Shuai would be the enemy of StarryLive Media. StarryLive Media was a giant company in China's entertainment industry. Who dared to offend them? Although Qin Feng couldn't guess Zhao Bin's identity, he guessed the man's intention. Are you the one who has been banning me recently? Oh, you're not stupid, kid. You finally know that someone is banning you? How about it? It's great to be banned, isn't it? This is just the beginning. Just wait to eat and vomit in the future. Zhao Bin admitted the fact that he was being banned, and Qin Feng was very angry. Qin Feng didn't become a star for the sake of being a star. He wanted to complete the system's mission as his goal. Someone dared to hinder the progress of Qin Feng's mission. Qin Feng absolutely could not allow such a person to appear. Tell me, who are you? Where are you? I'm going to find you now. Qin Feng's voice was cold. Zhao Bin ignored Qin Feng's threat and said with a playful smile, Grandson, listen carefully. My name is Zhao Bin. I'm drinking coffee in the boss's office on the top floor of StarryLive Media in Zhongchuan City. Hurry up and kowtow to me and admit your mistake. Otherwise, don't think about mingling in the entertainment industry. Before Zhao Bin finished speaking, Qin Feng had hung up the phone, picked up his coat, and went outside. Qin Feng, where are you going? Although Ma Xinxin didn't hear what Zhao Bin said, she had already noticed that Qin Feng's face was not right, so she quickly caught up. Someone is indeed banning me. I'm going to settle accounts with him now. Qin Feng pressed Ma Xinxin's shoulder and said, You don't have to worry about me. Wait for me at home for dinner. Ma Xinxin disagreed. Although she knew that Qin Feng was very skilled, Ma Xinxin couldn't help but worry about Qin Feng. No, I want to go with you. When Qin Feng learned that someone dared to ban him, he was so angry that he rushed to clean up the person. Okay, then you follow me. Don't be scared by the bloody scene later. At the bottom of the StarryLive Media building in Zhongchuan City, a crooked man in cheap black sportswear stood at the bottom of the building, but beside him stood a beautiful young girl. This pair of toad beauties was very eye-catching. Any passerby couldn't help but take a few glances. Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin just got off the taxi. On the way, Qin Feng sent a text message to Yang Can. Sir, this is StarryLive Media Company. What can I do for you? As soon as Qin Feng entered the building, a beautiful receptionist came up to greet him. Take me to see Zhao Bin. Qin Feng didn't talk nonsense. The beautiful receptionist was stunned for a moment. Just as she was about to make a phone call to ask Director Zhao, a man in a security uniform came over. You're Zheng Shuai. When the beautiful receptionist heard the two words Zheng Shuai, her eyes immediately lit up and stared straight at Qin Feng. She was also Qin Feng's fan. Lead the way. Since the security guard could call out Zheng Shuai's name, Qin Feng knew that this person must have been called down by Zhao Bin to specifically wait for him. Without saying anything, he followed the security guard upstairs. The three of them took the elevator all the way to the top floor, and finally arrived at the innermost office door. Director Zhao, I've brought him. The security guard pushed the door open. A man and a woman were hugging and kissing wildly in the room. The security guard acted as if he didn't see anything, and even tilted his head, not daring to look around. One of Zhao Bin's arms, and one of his legs were still wrapped in bandages. It seemed that the group of people in white suits had really been ruthless last time. Zhao Bin let go of Fei Fei in his arms, and his gaze fell on Qin Feng. His eyes flickered with a playful smile. Haha, isn't this Zheng Shuai, who has recently risen in the music industry? Your grandson is finally here. Zhao Bin hated Qin Feng to death these past few days. Seeing Qin Feng finally come, he was indescribably happy. Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin had already walked into the room. Zhao Bin wanted to continue mocking Qin Feng, but his gaze suddenly fell on Ma Xinxin, and he couldn't take his eyes off her. Actually, Zhao Bin's personal assistant Fei Fei was also a pretty stunner. However, that woman mainly relied on makeup and dressing to be more beautiful. Moreover, Fei Fei had mingled in society for many years and was covered in a sleek worldly air. How could she compare to the youthful and beautiful Ma Xinxin in front of him? "You're Zhao Bin? You're secretly banning me?" Qin Feng swept his gaze over Zhao Bin. This was just a normal person. Zhao Bin regained his senses with great difficulty and couldn't help but look at Ma Xinxin a few more times. Then he turned his gaze to the security guard. Zhao Bin gave the security guard a look, and the security guard closed the door and retreated. Zhao Bin didn't call any extra people over, because he believed that he held the power of Qin Feng's life and death in his hands. He didn't care about Qin Feng at all. "That's right, your elder is Zhao Bin. Your elder is banning you. What can you do to your elder?" Zhao Bin smiled playfully as he looked at Qin Feng. From time to time, he would glance at Ma Xinxin's thigh. Fei Fei was an astute woman. She quickly saw that Zhao Bin was interested in Ma Xinxin. Fei Fei immediately felt a strong hostility towards Ma Xinxin. She immediately walked up and hugged Zhao Bin's arm. Then, she started rubbing her chest against him. "Stinking brat. Why aren't you kneeling and begging for mercy when you see our chairman Zhao? You dare to mingle in the entertainment industry with looks like yours? Haha, I really admire your courage. And you bitch, where did you come from? This has nothing to do with you. Hurry up and scram." After Fei Fei yelled at Qin Feng, she glared at Ma Xinxin. This was her number one enemy. "Fei Fei, shut up. How can you talk to a little beauty like this? Those who come are guests and I, Zhao Bin, am a hospitable person. Hurry and invite the little beauty to a seat, and pour me a cup of coffee." Zhao Bin used to like Fei Fei, the little vixen, but after seeing Ma Xinxin, Zhao Bin immediately became hostile. He flung Fei Fei's arm away and angrily scolded her. Fei Fei was furious, but she didn't dare go against Zhao Bin's wishes. She glared fiercely at Ma Xinxin and went to pour the coffee. "There's no need for that. I came here with my boyfriend to ask you why you banned him. I don't think we've offended you." Ma Xinxin didn't want to have anything to do with Zhao Bin. She could tell that Zhao Bin was interested in her. However, when she saw Zhao Bin's lecherous gaze, Ma Xinxin felt disgusted. Chapter 882. Zhao Bin was using an old trick. Almost every time he saw a beauty that caught his eye, he would use this trick to pick them up. Zhao Bin had tried this trick many times, but it didn't work on Ma Xinxin at all. "Don't talk nonsense. I don't plan to be a star. I'm here with my boyfriend to warn you. Don't ban my boyfriend again. Otherwise, I'll report you for malicious assault." Ma Xinxin understood everything after knowing Zhao Bin's identity. A few days ago, a group of strong men broke into Ma Xinxin and Qin Feng's residence to make trouble. Later, they were knocked down by Ma Xinxin. The leader admitted that it was Mr. Zhao of Starry Live Media who asked them to make trouble. Now Zhao Bin began to ban Qin Feng. "Little beauty, don't be so hasty to make a decision. There's no future for you to follow that ugly man. He's already been banned. You'll only live a life of eating and vomiting if you follow him." Zhao Bin didn't mind being rejected. He was confident that he could take down Ma Xinxin. "I'll be happy even if I eat and vomit. It's none of your business. Beauty, why are you so stupid? I'm not in a hurry anyway. Think about it more. I'll give you time." Zhao Bin looked at Ma Xinxin with a smile. The more he looked at her, the more he liked her. Ma Xinxin was really scared by his stare. She said coldly, "Tell me, what do I have to do to get rid of my boyfriend's ban?" "Well, that depends on your performance, little beauty. It just so happens that I'm short of a personal assistant. If little beauty is willing to be my assistant, then I'll consider letting that ugly man off the hook." Zhao Bin smiled playfully. His personal assistant was just like Fei Fei. They didn't have to do anything but take care of his body every day. "Director Zhao, boo-hoo, I'm just your personal assistant. Why are you looking for someone else?" Fei Fei hurriedly acted coquettishly to Zhao Bin. She used to act coquettishly all the time. However, After Ma Xinxin appeared, Xiaobin felt disgusted when he saw Fei Fei. "Shut up. If you talk any more nonsense, get out of here." Xiaobin directly interrupted Fei Fei's words. Fei Fei was so scared that she didn't dare to speak anymore. Ma Xinxin wasn't stupid. Of course, she understood what Xiaobin meant. However, she wouldn't agree to Xiaobin's request even if she was beaten to death. This was also because Xiaobin's identity was special, and he held the power of life and death in Qin Feng's star path. Otherwise, why would Ma Xinxin talk nonsense with him here? He had already sent Xiaobin flying with a few kicks, just like how he had dealt with the man in the white suit. "Little beauty, have you thought about it? Don't worry if you follow me. I guarantee that you'll have a good life in the future. You'll get whatever you want." Seeing that Ma Xinxin wasn't saying anything, Xiaobin impatiently asked. Qin Feng's patience had long since run out. He didn't wait for Ma Xinxin to speak and interrupted Xiaobin. "Cancel the move to ban me right now, and I can let you feel a bit better." Xiaobin was slightly taken aback. As if he had heard the funniest joke in the world, he suddenly burst into laughter. "Haha, are you kidding me? How dare you threaten me at a time like this? Sure enough, he's a newbie. He doesn't even know the division of power in this industry, yet he dares to come out? You should go back and drink milk for a few more years before coming out." From beginning to end, Xiaobin didn't look Qin Feng in the eye. The moment he opened his mouth, he mocked Qin Feng. Fei Fei had just suffered a setback, so she immediately ran over and hugged Xiaobin's arm. She had a pitiful expression, as if she was deeply afraid that Xiaobin really wouldn't want her. "Director Zhao, this kind of person's appearance is destined to be a stinking beggar. Who does he think he is? He's simply polluting the air in our office. What right does a frivolous woman like you have to criticize Zheng Shuai?" Ma Xinxin usually stayed at home with Qin Feng, and often joked that Qin Feng was too ugly. However, Ma Xinxin was only joking. Moreover, she only allowed herself to joke about this. Every time other people said Qin Feng was ugly, Ma Xinxin wanted to beat them to death. Fei Fei was so angry that her chest was about to explode. Her heavily made-up face became bitter and unkind. "You little bitch, you're pretending to be pure in front of your old lady? Your old lady will beat you back to your original form." Fei Fei had long since disliked Ma Xinxin. She extended her claws to dig at Ma Xinxin's face. However, Ma Xinxin was no longer the Ma Xinxin of the past. Ever since Qin Feng taught her to fight, Ma Xinxin's hands had been itching to fight, but she couldn't find anyone to practice with. Now that Fei Fei took the initiative to deliver herself to her, Ma Xinxin wasn't going to be polite. Slap! Before Fei Fei's sharp nails could touch Ma Xinxin's face, a crisp sound was heard. Ma Xinxin angrily slapped Fei Fei's face. Half of Fei Fei's face swelled up. Fei Fei was stunned. She stared at Ma Xinxin in disbelief. Then, Fei Fei started to scream strangely. She pounced at Ma Xinxin like a madwoman. "You little bitch, I'm going to disfigure you." Slap. Ma Xinxin was very calm. She quietly stood where she was, and didn't move half a step. She raised her lily-white hand, and slapped Fei Fei's face again. This time, she slapped the other side of her face. When she slapped down, Ma Xinxin's hand was stained with a layer of foundation. This disgusted Ma Xinxin. Slap, 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 slap. Since she started, Ma Xinxin couldn't stop. It was as if she was affected by Qin Feng. Fei Fei's head swayed left and right from the slap. The foundation could be seen flying under the sunlight. Fei Fei's screams filled the room. Ma Xinxin stopped slapping Fei Fei when she was tired. Fei Fei's face was swollen like a pig's head. The foundation and makeup on her face were gone. Her original appearance shocked Qin Feng. This woman didn't look any better than him. She slapped Fei Fei 18 times in a row, but it was done in an instant. Xiaobin couldn't come back to his senses. He thought Ma Xinxin looked pure and lovely. He didn't expect this woman to be so cruel. "Zhao, I want you to cancel the ban on Zheng Shuai now. Otherwise, you'll end up like that woman." After Qin Feng trained Ma Xinxin, she became an all-around manager. Now Ma Xinxin didn't even need Qin Feng to show up. Ma Xinxin had said everything she needed to say. Qin Feng thought this Ma Xinxin was very good. However, there was one flaw. If he slept with this woman, it would be perfect. Why you dared to hit someone in my office? Why you'll regret it." Xiaobin came back to his senses. His heart was a little nervous. He thought he controlled Qin Feng's star path, and Qin Feng would obediently kneel and beg for mercy. Now it seemed that wasn't the case. "Looks like you don't understand. Then I'm going to make my move." Ma Xinxin wouldn't be soft-hearted towards a bad guy like Xiaobin. Seeing that Ma Xinxin really raised her hand to slap him, Xiaobin was so scared that he screamed, Someone come quickly. Rebellion! Someone is rebelling in my territory." Slap! As soon as Xiaobin finished shouting, Ma Xinxin slapped him. Just as she was about to slap him a second time, a group of people suddenly rushed in. However, these people weren't security guards because none of them wore security uniforms. A total of 6 people came in. All of them were dressed in suits and leather shoes. They looked very dignified. It was obvious that they were people of high status. Ma Xinxin stopped and hurriedly returned to Qin Feng's side. She looked like she wanted to protect Qin Feng at all times. Xiaobin was stunned when he saw the people who came. In the next second, he threw himself at them and shouted in surprise as if he had seen his own father. "Chairman Du, why you're here? You really came at the right time. There's a stinky brat causing trouble in the branch here. Chairman Du, you must uphold justice for me." A group of 6 people came in. The leader standing in the front was around 40 years old. He was the Chairman Du that Xiaobin called. Chairman Du had a dignified expression. His Armani suit alone was worth hundreds of thousands. The luxury watch in his hand was even more expensive, costing 5 million yuan. Chairman Du was the vice president of the provincial capital's Starry Live Media. To put it bluntly, he was Yang Can's henchman. Before coming to Starry Live Media, Qin Feng sent a text message to Yang Can. The content of the message was very simple. "Little Can, I have a little brother named Zheng Shuai. He wanted to develop into a singer, but he was banned by Chairman Zhao of your Zhongchuan branch. Do as you see fit." Although the message was brief, Yang Can felt as if he had been struck by lightning after reading it. Nowadays, the 4 young masters of the provincial capital had become very low-key because of the freak Qin Feng in the provincial capital. What Yang Can feared the most now was to provoke Qin Feng's displeasure. He guarded left and right, but he didn't expect that his underlings would still offend Qin Feng. Yang Can didn't dare to be the slightest bit negligent. He had to deal with this kind of matter personally. However, it was an emergency. Even if Yang Can could fly, he couldn't rush to Zhongchuan City in a short time. He immediately called Chairman Du in Hong Kong. As the vice president of Starry Live Media, Chairman Du's position was barely enough to receive Qin Feng's little brother. Therefore, Chairman Du put down everything in his hands and raced against time to rush from Hong Kong. Now he stood in Xiaobin's office. Excuse me, are you Mr. Zheng Shuai?" Chairman Du had no time to pay attention to Xiaobin. He quickly walked to Qin Feng's side respectfully. The situation kept changing. Ma Xinxin was dumbfounded. Qin Feng's expression didn't change at all. He had already guessed that Chairman Du was sent by Yang Can. "I'm Zheng Shuai," said Qin Feng. After confirming Zheng Shuai's identity, Chairman Du couldn't wait to kneel in front of Qin Feng and talk to him. He quickly smiled and said, "Hello, Mr. Zheng Shuai. I'm the vice president of Starry Live Media's Beijing head office. You can call me Xiaodu. Our company's boss, young master Yang Can, admires your singing very much. He wants to promote you. I hope Mr. Zheng Shuai can give us this opportunity." Chairman Du's attitude toward Qin Feng was extremely respectful. Everyone in the room was dumbfounded. When Qin Feng rejected Xiaobin's invitation, he told Ma Xinxin that Yang Can was his little brother. Ma Xinxin didn't believe him at that time, but at this moment, she began to believe him. After Feifei was slapped by Ma Xinxin, she sat on the ground and screamed. At this moment, she forgot to scream in pain and looked at the scene in front of her in disbelief. The most shocked person was Xiaobin. He never expected that young Master Yang Can would take a fancy to Zheng Shuai. He even wanted to promote Zheng Shuai. Did young Master Yang take the wrong medicine? Zheng Shuai was so ugly. "You don't have the right to talk to me about this. If you want to cooperate with me, get Yang Can to come see me." Chapter 883. The four young masters of the provincial capital were very famous in China. Most people would not offend these four families. However, in Qin Feng's eyes, Yang Qin was like a wild dog. Chairman Du wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Before he came, Yang Qin repeatedly told him to treat Zheng Shuai well. However, Chairman Du did not expect Zheng Shuai to be so arrogant that he even dared to scold young Master Yang. This time, Mr. Du didn't know what to say. "Stinking brat, what are you talking about? How dare you insult young Master Yang?" The brief silence was broken by Zhao Bin. Zhao Bin felt that he should do something to redeem himself. When he heard Qin Feng scolding Yang Can, Zhao Bin knew that his chance to turn the tables had finally arrived. "Chairman Du, this brat is just a newbie, and he's so ugly. I don't think it's necessary to spend resources to promote him. You heard what he said just now. Chairman Du, this person is too arrogant. He doesn't even respect young Master Yang. How can we tolerate such a wretch behaving atrociously here? I think we should just arrest him." "Shut up." Zhao Bin blabbered a bunch of bad things about Qin Feng. He wanted to sow discord between Chairman Du and Qin Feng. However, before he could finish, Chairman Du could not hold it in anymore and rebuked Zhao Bin. "Zhao Bin, who do you think you are? I'm chatting with Mr. Zheng Shuai. Do you think you have the right to speak? Hurry up and get lost. I get angry when I see you." Chairman Du could not figure out Zheng Shuai's identity, but Yang Qin had repeatedly told him to treat Zheng Shuai well. Even if Qin Feng scolded Yang Qin, Chairman Du could not afford to offend Qin Feng. He could only think of a way to delay for a while and wait for young Master Yang Qin to come and deal with it himself. Zhao Bin was dumbfounded by Chairman Du's scolding. He even suspected that he was dreaming. He's just a newbie, Zheng Shuai. Is there a need to please him so much? He's fine even if he scolded young Master Yang. "Chairman Du, are you muddle-headed? That brat was scolding young Master Yang just now. Since you don't care about this, I'll call young Master Yang now." Zhao Bin had never suffered such humiliation before. He threw caution to the wind. "I don't care if you're Chairman Du or Chairman Ma. I'll call Yang Qin and ask young Master Yang to help me." Slap. Zhao Bin had just taken out his phone when Mr. Du slapped it away. After slapping the phone away, Mr. Du did not stop at all. He waved the phone randomly at Zhao Bin's face. Pa pa pa. The rhythmic sound of slaps echoed in the office, and Zhao Bin was completely stunned. Fei Fei was even more dumbfounded when she saw this scene. How could Fei Fei not know Mr. Du's identity? Seeing Mr. Du hit someone, Fei Fei didn't even dare to let out a fart. "Mr. Du, you please stop." Zhao Bin let out a blood-curdling scream before he finally regained his senses. His ferocious expression made it seem as if he wanted to retaliate. "Stop. I'll hold your numb hand." President Du's status was high and mighty. He was inexplicably called to Zhongchuan City by Yang Qin and had to curry favor with a newcomer like Zheng Shuai. How could he not have any resentment in his heart? These resentments just happened to be vented on Zhao Bin. "Motherfucker, you idiot. I'm going to kill you." Zhao Bin had been continuously beaten recently, and he was forced into a corner. He waved his fists and began to retaliate. Both of them were ordinary people, and judging from their postures, they didn't usually fight. After a while, the two of them wrestled and rolled back and forth on the ground. "Zhao Bin, damn you, you even dare to hit me? I'm going to make you scram." After all, Zhao Bin was injured, and it was Mr. Du who attacked first. After a round of fighting, Mr. Du still had the upper hand. At this time, he sat on Zhao Bin's body and fiercely punched his face. This scene was too savage. Fei Fei trembled all over as she watched. Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin, on the other hand, had calm expressions. To them, a fight of this level was like a fight between kindergarten kids. Savage my ass. Who knew how many punches Chairman Du threw? In any case, he only stopped when he was tired. Zhao Bin lay on the ground with bloodstains all over his body. His body was still slightly twitching, and his entire face had become like a pig's head. He was practically a pair with Fei Fei. "Mr. Zheng Shuai, I've really let you see a joke. That bastard took the wrong medicine today. He's much more well-behaved after I taught him a lesson." Mr. Du endured the pain in his body and ran over to greet Qin Feng. Qin Feng was too lazy to talk nonsense and said directly, "You came at the right time. Hurry up and cancel the action to ban me. Otherwise, I won't be polite. Mr. Du looked puzzled and asked, Mr. Zheng Shuai, what action? I don't know. Qin Feng stared into Mr. Du's eyes. He could see that Mr. Du really didn't know about this. In other words, this action was Zhao Bin's abuse of private power. That bastard surnamed Zhao used the resources of Starry Live Media to ban Zheng Shuai recently. We're here for this matter. Without Qin Feng saying anything, Ma Xinxin explained the situation. Mr. Du was furious. No wonder young Master Yang called him over. After all this time, it turned out that Zhao Bin had caused trouble here. Mr. Zheng Shuai, our Starry Live Media headquarters didn't know about this. It must be that idiot Zhao Bin who abused his private power. I'll call young Master Yang now and explain the matter. President Du had already made a call. His heart was in a mess. He still couldn't figure out Zheng Shuai's identity. Just now, Zheng Shuai had scolded young Master Yang. President Du didn't know if he would be scolded. Xiao Du, have you seen Zheng Shuai? The phone rang twice before it was connected. Young Master Yang, I have. Mr. Zheng Shuai said that Zhao Bin is banning him and wants us to cancel the action. Mr. Du didn't talk nonsense and explained the whole matter in a few words. Yang Qin had just boarded a private plane and was rushing to Zhongchuan City. He was so angry that he almost smashed his phone. Fuck Zhao Bin's mother. Why is he banning Zheng Shuai for no reason? Hurry up and cancel the action. Take good care of Zheng Shuai like you treat your grandfather. I'm on my way. If anything goes wrong, I'll take care of you. The phone had been hung up. Mr. Du's shirt was drenched in sweat. However, Mr. Du was very glad that he had just chosen the right team. Fortunately, he didn't offend Zheng Shuai. Otherwise, he would have ended up like that idiot Zhao Bin. Mr. Zheng Shuai, young Master Yang said that this is all a misunderstanding. Our Starry Live Media will immediately cancel the ban on you and fire Zhao Bin. In order to make up for the loss caused by this misunderstanding to Mr. Zheng Shuai, our Starry Live Media is prepared to promote Mr. Zheng Shuai in the following time. President Du was a flexible person. With just a few words, he arranged everything properly. This result was within Qin Feng's expectations, but Ma Xinxin was stunned. She was now sure that Yang Qin was really Qin Feng's little brother. At this moment, Ma Xinxin was confused. She couldn't figure out which of Qin Feng's previous words was true, which was false. You're responsible for dealing with this matter. Don't let that brat Yang Qin come, Qin Feng said unquestionably. Mr. Du didn't dare to go against Qin Feng's wishes. Okay, I'll definitely do it well. Please rest assured, Mr. Zheng Shuai. This is my little brother's business card. If there's anything, look for me at any time. Qin Feng took the business card, hugged Ma Xinxin, and swaggered out of Starry Live Media. After the two walked for a while, Mr. Du let out a long sigh of relief and sat down on the ground. The pressure brought by Qin Feng was too great. Just now, Mr. Du had been pretending to be calm. In the next few days, the number of Qin Feng's fans began to increase explosively. Zhao Bin was violently beaten up by Mr. Du and then fired. Yang Qin learned that Zheng Shuai didn't let him go to Zhongchuan City. The plane was already halfway there, so he hurriedly turned around and retreated. Yang Qin didn't dare to offend Zheng Shuai, because this was the person Qin Feng specifically sent a text message to greet. Yang Qin told Mr. Du to stay in Zhongchuan City and specifically serve Zheng Shuai. These days, Qin Feng sang a few new songs. Every time the video was uploaded, the large video websites under Starry Live Media immediately pinned it to the top and continuously recommended it. It was hard for Qin Feng not to become popular. Aha! Crazy Qin Feng, your fans are crazy. These days Ma Xinxin often screamed. Her voice was somewhat ambiguous, and Qin Feng almost couldn't hold it in several times. Weibo fans broke 10 million. The new song that was just uploaded broke 500,000 views in an hour, 50,000 shares, 30,000 comments. Ma Xinxin looked at the data that changed every minute and danced with joy. Qin Feng jumped onto the bed and looked at Ma Xinxin's big breasts. He really wanted to pull it open and see what it looked like. Qin Feng, Mr. Du looked for me this morning and said he wanted to help you produce an original album. Do you want to agree? Ma Xinxin said as she scrolled through the comments. If it can help me increase my fans, Then I'll consider it. But I don't have time to compose my own songs and lyrics. Ask them to find someone to help me compose a song, and I'll just sing it. Qin Feng said he was very busy, but in fact, he slept at home every day. These days, Qin Feng was indeed very idle. Other than waking up every morning to kiss Ma Xinxin and absorb the poisonous gas, he spent the rest of his time watching TV or sleeping. With Ma Xinxin's help, Qin Feng's strength had already recovered to stage 8 inner qi. Qin Feng also discovered a good thing. The poisonous gas in Ma Xinxin's body was very pure. After using this poisonous gas to break through, Qin Feng's inner qi was even more powerful than when he was at stage 8 inner qi. You're really lazy. Then I'll tell Mr. Du to prepare a song. Ma Xinxin began to busy herself again. In this short half a month, she had become a strong woman. Although she was very tired and busy every day, Ma Xinxin's heart was sweet and warm. Ma Xinxin often thought how good it would be if time stopped in this half a month. Ma Xinxin really liked her current life. Qin Feng ran to sleep, and just as he fell asleep his phone rang. Who is it? Qin Feng was a little angry when he was woken up. Qin Feng, are you busy now? I want to see you. Li Ye's wronged voice came from the phone as if she was bullied. Little Ye, where are you? I'll go over now. Chapter 884. Qin Feng could tell that Li Ye seemed to be very helpless and needed someone's help. Qin Feng was no longer sleepy and immediately rushed to the coffee shop. Xiaoya, what's going on? When Qin Feng arrived, Li Ye was already there. Just like last time, there were 2 cups of coffee on the table. Qin Feng took a cup and took a few sips. Every time Li Ye went out alone with Qin Feng, she would dress up meticulously. However, today she had only changed into a white sportswear and did not have any makeup on her face. Qin Feng, I've been under a lot of pressure recently. I can't take it anymore. The moment Li Ye saw Qin Feng, the strength and independence that she usually hid were all put away, revealing her most genuine and weak side in front of Qin Feng. Qin Feng pulled a chair and sat down beside Li Ye. He reached out and hugged Li Ye's small waist. Li Ye did not resist, and even cooperated by leaning her head into Qin Feng's embrace. In an instant, Li Ye felt a lot calmer. If you have any difficulties, just tell me. I'll think of a way to help you solve them. Qin Feng looked at Li Ye's pretty face and realized that this woman was truly beautiful. As expected of the most beautiful young lady in Hong Kong, for 3 consecutive terms, Li Ye was like a little woman. She pouted and complained in Qin Feng's embrace. It's the missing person case that I mentioned last time. There are still no clues for this case. And in the past week, the number of missing people has suddenly increased exponentially. In 7 days, more than 50 people have disappeared, and the pressure on the higher-ups is getting greater and greater. They have already issued a number 1 document, telling me to find an important clue within half a month, and solve the case within a month. Last time, Qin Feng had guessed that the missing person case was related to the Verdant sect. Now, he was even more suspicious of this guess. If it was a normal organization that carried out a kidnapping, they would definitely stop for a few days to avoid the wind. However, this organization was simply lawless, wishing that they could kidnap everyone in Zhongchuan City. From what Qin Feng knew, only the Verdant sect would dare to be so presumptuous. The organization you met this time might be very powerful. Not being able to solve the case is not a problem of your own ability. Come, let's go out for a walk. Qin Feng watched as the sky outside started to darken. His eyes flashed with a strange light as he pulled Li Ye out of the coffee shop. However, Li Ye was not in the mood to go shopping. It was obvious that she was still thinking about solving the case. But Qin Feng did not care about Li Ye's absent-mindedness, because Qin Feng did not seem to be really shopping. Along the way, he was looking left and right, as if he was looking for something. Unknowingly, the 2 of them arrived at a desolate small park. Only then did Li Ye come back to her senses. Seeing that Qin Feng had pulled her into a small park with no one around, she immediately became nervous. What do you want? Li Ye pushed Qin Feng away and retreated a few steps before stopping. She stared at Qin Feng vigilantly. I didn't do anything. Qin Feng was dumbfounded. The reason why he came to this deserted park at night was to lure the people of the verdant sect over. When Qin Feng was shopping just now, he discovered some suspicious people. Qin Feng purposely followed those people, and in the end, he walked to this desolate place. Then, Qin Feng discovered that those people had hidden themselves and had been following him and Leah. You don't play dumb. Why did you bring me here in the middle of the night? This is a place for couples to meet up and meet up. Leah did not believe Qin Feng at all. Last time at their residence, Leah had hugged Qin Feng and slept together for an entire night. If you didn't mention it, I would have forgotten. This place is indeed very suitable for a wild battle. Qin Feng smiled as he looked at Leah. Leah knew that Qin Feng had ulterior motives and was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. Usually, Qin Feng was not serious, but Leah's mood was at a low point, and in the end, Qin Feng was still not serious. Leah hated this kind of man. Don't come near me, I hate you, Leah said angrily. Are you really not coming? In a while someone else will come over. Even if you want to come, you won't be able to, Qin Feng said seriously. Leah was startled for a moment. As a police officer, her observation skills were quite sharp. Leah saw something strange in Qin Feng's eyes. And then, she heard the sound of footsteps coming from the quiet park. Haha. Brother Nyo, your luck is pretty good tonight. You've met 2 more people who are courting death. Cut the crap, just knock them out and grab them. Recently, Brother Li's mission has been too heavy. Catch 50 people a month. Do you want me to give birth to 50 people for him? In a few breaths of time, 6 men ran in from the dark entrance of the park. Each of them held a dagger in their hands, which flickered with a cold light in the moonlight. Who are you people? Leah's jade hand was already behind her, where she kept her gun. Don't even think about resisting. Obediently let us catch you, or else you'll only suffer even more. The leader, Brother Nyo, was as dark and strong as an ox. He guarded the entrance of the park, and did not place Qin Feng and Leah in his eyes at all. With a wave of his hand, 5 of his lackeys pounced towards the 2 of them. Leah immediately pulled out her gun, causing Qin Feng to be speechless. Don't shoot, put them down and capture them alive. Leah was startled. When she regained her senses, she realized that Qin Feng had already disappeared. When she looked in front of her, there were 5 strong men lying on the ground. They were the 5 people who were about to rush up. Qin Feng's speed was too fast. He couldn't be this fast in bed, right? The secluded little park was dark. Leah and Brother Nyo could not see clearly. The battle was already over? Black Tiger, Iron Dragon, what's going on with you guys? Brother Nyo suddenly started to feel guilty. The arrogant attitude from before had long disappeared, and even his voice was trembling. Ewo, Brother Nyo, that brat is so powerful. Quickly call for reinforcements. The 5 people on the ground screamed incessantly. Brother Nyo was so scared that he turned around and ran. Leah immediately wanted to chase after him, but was stopped by Qin Feng. Qin Feng, why aren't you chasing? Leah was puzzled. Let him call for reinforcements. We'll capture more people later. It'll definitely be of help to you. Qin Feng blew hot air into Leah's ear, causing Leah's entire body to heat up. Qin Feng already had his own plan in the coffee shop. He had helped Lu Bingbing solve the missing persons case in Acropolis City, so he had a better understanding of the verdant sex methods. Qin Feng purposely waited until night to bring Leah out to go shopping, and purposely walked to a park with few people, in order to lure the verdant sex people to kidnap him and Leah. Qin Feng was using himself as bait, waiting for the verdant sex people to take the bait. Leah still did not understand Qin Feng's intentions, but Qin Feng definitely had his reasons for doing so. Leah quietly stood at the side, and did not ask any more questions. The 2 of them guarded the park, and the 5 people on the ground were still screaming. Not long after, the sound of hurried footsteps could be heard. Hearing the sound, Leah's expression became nervous. There were at least 20 to 30 people. Brother Nyo, where are they? You dare to touch the brothers of our lone dragon gang. You're simply courting death. It's that dog couple. Everyone be careful, that man has some skills. Brother Nyo led the way and pointed at Qin Feng. A group of more than 30 people immediately surrounded Qin Feng and Leah, forming a circle around them in an instant. Just now, when Brother Niu was standing at the entrance of the park, he did not even see Leah's appearance clearly. Now that he was closer, Brother Niu and the other brothers immediately turned into pig heads and stared at Leah with green eyes. Brother Niu, this girl is really fucking pretty. Brothers, you're in luck tonight. Everyone grab that girl and play with her. The 30 or so hooligans were not good people. They were clamoring to strip Leah naked and play with her. Leah was so angry that her lily-white hands touched the gun again. If not for Qin Feng stopping her, Leah would have already fired. Brat, you were very capable just now, huh? You dare to come out at night and scare people when you're so ugly. Quickly kneel down for Lousy and crawl under Lousy's crotch. Lousy can spare your life. Brother Niu was scared to death when he was running away, but now that he called his brothers over, he started to act arrogant again. Leah hated this kind of man the most. They were simply a bunch of trash. Black Devil, you've been gone for so long, yet you've called so many people over? You've really disappointed me. Qin Feng did not care about Brother Niu's harsh words and looked at him with a sneer. Brother Niu was as strong as an ox, and his skin color was the same as big black oxes. He hated people calling him black the most, and Qin Feng called him Black Devil the moment he opened his mouth. Big Black Ox was so angry that his nose was crooked. Fuck your mother. Let's go together and stab this grandson to death. Brother Niu roared. He was the first to brandish his dagger and pounce forward. The other 30 or so brothers did not retreat, and all surrounded Qin Feng. Leah nervously held onto her gun, ready to fire at any time. But in the next second, she was stunned by the scene in front of her. Qin Feng's figure flickered, like a ghost floating around. Leah could not determine Qin Feng's position at all. She could only hear the continuous muffled sounds, followed by the screams of Brother Niu and the others. Bang 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 bang. In just a few minutes, the park was littered with people lying on the ground. The people on the ground were rolling back and forth in pain. Some of them had even fainted and could not even scream. Don't come over. We won't capture you anymore. You guys can leave. During this period of time, Brother Niu would bring his brothers to squat in a sparsely populated area every night. Who knew how many people he had captured? It had always been the people who were captured begging for mercy from Brother Niu. This was the first time Brother Niu had encountered a situation where he couldn't catch someone and had to beg them to leave. This was simply too embarrassing. Leah was still in shock. Qin Feng stood in front of Brother Niu and looked down at him. Do you think I'll leave just because you tell me to? Wouldn't that be very embarrassing? Brother Niu was speechless. He felt that he had met a fool tonight. Did you have to be kidnapped to be happy? Then what do you want? Brother Niu asked nervously. I already said that you didn't call enough people. How about this? I'll give you another chance. Call more people over. When have I ever been troubled by anyone? If you don't fight me to the death tonight, I won't let you guys off so easily. Qin Feng had a relaxed and casual expression on his face. Brother Niu's group of brothers all had black lines on their foreheads. This person was really sick. Chapter 885. Brother Niu was very depressed. He did not want to tangle with Qin Feng anymore. But in the end, this person pestered him. At the same time, Brother Niu was also very angry. As an old member of the Lone Dragon Gang, when had Brother Niu ever been bullied in Zhongchuan City? Today, he had brought a group of brothers to be beaten up. If he did not get back at them, how would he be able to survive in Zhongchuan City in the future? Alright, that's what you said. Then I'll call for help now. Brother Niu asked Qin Feng tentatively. He was afraid that Qin Feng was joking with him. Call as many people as you can, or else it won't even be enough for me to warm up. Qin Feng had a look of disdain on his face, angering Brother Niu to the point that his lungs were about to explode. Because of Qin Feng's strength, Brother Niu could not say anything harsh. He took his phone and went to the side to call for help. When the people came, Brother Niu would teach Qin Feng a lesson. Leah was becoming more and more unable to understand Qin Feng. She could not understand why he was fighting with a group of hoodlums. Qin Feng, let's go. Don't bother with these scum. Leah came up and pulled Qin Feng's arm. Although Qin Feng was very powerful, Leah was still a little worried. How can we leave now? I've already said that I'll beat up as many people as they send. Do you want me to lose face here? But Leah wanted to persuade Qin Feng again, but she suddenly felt a burning pain on her buttocks. Qin Feng slapped down and said angrily, "Stop talking, I said wait for someone." Leah jumped in fright. She was baffled by Qin Feng. "You lunatic, I can't be bothered with you." Leah was a little angry. She sat on a stone bench with a cold face, and did not look at Qin Feng again. Brother Niu and the others on the ground had been secretly staring at Qin Feng the entire time. Seeing Qin Feng's arrogant and despotic attitude, these usually arrogant hoodlums were all angered to death. "Black Tiger, Iron Dragon, you guys also call your brothers over." The more Brother Niu thought about it, the angrier he became. He secretly called out to his two brothers. The two of them also ran to make a call, and told their other brothers. All of a sudden, all the gangsters who were beaten up couldn't swallow their anger. They all ran to call for help. No matter how many people they called, they could only try their best to call more people over. Leah sat at the side and pretended to ignore Qin Feng, but she was secretly paying attention to the situation on Qin Feng's side. Seeing that Qin Feng was allowing those hoodlums to call for reinforcements, Leah was so angry that her teeth were about to shatter. "Brother Niu, I've called 5 brothers over. I called 10 from my side. I reckon that there will be more than 100 brothers coming. Just a mouthful of saliva from each of them will be enough to drown that fool. Wait until we've dealt with that fool. Then we'll all play with his woman. That chick is really pretty. Just looking at her makes me excited." After everyone finished their calls, they gathered together to count the number of people. When they found out that there were more than 100 people coming to help Big Brother Niu, and the others instantly felt confident. Why would they be afraid of Qin Feng? "Qin Feng, if you're not leaving, I'll go back by myself." Leah's heart became more and more uneasy. She stood up and walked out of the park. After taking 2 steps, Qin Feng pulled her into his embrace and pressed Leah down on the stone chair. "Don't go anywhere, just sit here. Wait for me to finish taking care of these people." After Qin Feng finished speaking, his figure had already disappeared. Leah looked at the entrance of the park in a daze, and was immediately scared stiff. There was a black mass of people pouring in, and at a rough estimate, there were over 100 people. A group of people all came with weapons. Steel pipes, machetes and other weapons reflected a cold light under the moonlight. These people purposely dragged their weapons on the ground, making an ear-piercing sound of metal rubbing against each other. Not long later, the black mass of people had already arrived at Leah's side, and Qin Feng had long since disappeared. Leah was like a little lamb as she sat pitifully on the stone bench, her jade-like hands tightly grabbing onto the gun at her waist to find a sense of security. "Brother Niu, the brothers are here. Which blind brat offended you? I heard that kid is very arrogant. Let's have as many people as possible. I want to see if he has 3 heads and 6 arms or 2 balls. I alone will chop him to death." More than 100 hoodlums rushed into the park, shouting and yelling. It was extremely chaotic. Leah's body started to tremble. She kept looking around for Qin Feng's figure. Could it be that Qin Feng really left her behind? Where's that ugly freak? "Brother Niu, it's bad. That brat saw that our reinforcements had arrived and ran away in fright. Motherfucker, what a coward. Since that ugly bastard ran away, then let's capture his woman and play with her to death with 100 people." Brother Niu looked around and realized that Qin Feng had really disappeared. The anger in Brother Niu's heart surged, and he pounced towards Leah, who was sitting on the stone chair. "Qin Feng, you bastard, quickly save me." Leah started to scream in fear. Even if she had a gun, she wouldn't be able to beat down more than 100 people. No one believed that Qin Feng would dare to come back. The more Leah resisted, the more excited these hoodlums became. Swoosh! The sound of the wind rang out, but it was covered up by the laughter. Brother Niu threw himself to Leah's side. His dirty hands were about to touch Leah's chest, but his hands never touched it, because his hands had already fallen to the ground. Ah! Leah started to scream. The scene in front of her was too strange. Lia's heart was about to jump out of her throat. Following that, Brother Nyo's scream was even higher than Lia's dolphin sound, causing the eardrums of the group of hoodlums to explode. Brother Nyo, what happened to you? Your father's hand is gone. Brother Nyo screamed for a long time before he finally managed to squeeze out a sentence. The moment these words left his mouth, the surrounding hoodlums were all scared half to death. This park was cold and gloomy, and there was no light. Brother Nyo's hand suddenly disappeared? This was too fucking scary. Brother Nyo, don't joke around. This joke isn't funny at all. Brother Nyo, are you trying to scare us away and take that beautiful girl for yourself? At most, we'll let you go first. Stop screaming like a ghost, it's really scary. The brothers were all quite frightened by Brother Nyo's ghostly cries. Everyone wanted to persuade Brother Nyo to stop, but Brother Nyo's hands were really broken. They had already fallen to the ground and were still twitching in the blood. Brother Nyo's screams could not stop at all. He was in so much pain that he wanted to die. Those brothers had already realized that something was wrong, and very quickly someone screamed, "Fuck, it's really broken. Brother Nyo's hand is crawling on the ground." Wuxia, damn you, can you stop scaring people? Wuxia isn't lying, he's crawling. Brother Nyo's hand is crawling on the ground. The 100 or so people were completely in an uproar. Just a moment ago, they were all aggressive and fearless. How long had it been since they arrived? All of them were so scared that they couldn't even walk. Shio shio shio. The wind whistled again, and this time, it was continuous. White light flickered in the crowd like floating fireflies. Immediately, screams sounded like thunder, and the entire small park was filled with the strong smell of blood. Lia was not injured, but she was also screaming. She looked at the bloody scene in front of her, as if she was looking at a real-life horror movie, living to see the horrors of hell. At the end of a large tree in the park, Qin Feng stood on top of it. White light flickered in his hands as he looked at the scene in front of him, without changing his expression. He was the creator of this hell. At this moment, the lives of these 100 or so hooligans were all in Qin Feng's hands. The wind whistling gradually subsided, and Qin Feng had unknowingly landed on the ground. The moment Lia saw Qin Feng, she immediately pounced on him and laid in Qin Feng's embrace, not daring to raise her head. Qin Feng, you killed so many people? You're crazy. Even though she was a senior inspector, Lia, she had never seen such a tragic scene before. She could not accept it. Qin Feng lightly patted Lia's jade back and calmly said, "I didn't kill anyone. I only cut off their legs to prevent them from escaping." Lia's emotions calmed down a little, and she once again stuck her head out to look at the group of people on the ground. Everyone was hugging their legs and rolling back and forth on the ground. They were indeed not dead. They had only suffered some superficial injuries. "You scared me to death. I thought you left me behind and ran away." Lia relaxed and pouted as she complained to Qin Feng. "Look at your little guts. You still have the nerve to be a police officer. Also, who am I, Qin Feng? How could the Azure Dragon of China abandon a beauty and watch her die?" As Qin Feng spoke, he did not forget to touch Lia's perky butt. Lia felt it clearly, but she did not reprimand Qin Feng. Hearing Qin Feng's words just now, Lia's heart surged with warmth. "But why do you have to deal with these people?" Lia still did not understand. "Sai, I advise you to quit your job. Your brain and skills are not suitable. Can't you see it? These hoodlums are all from the same organization. They specialize in kidnapping people at night in places with few people." Lia's eyes lit up. She finally understood what Qin Feng meant. "You're saying these people are related to the missing persons case?" Qin Feng patted Lia's soft and perky butt and laughed. "There's an 80% chance that it's related. Once you capture them and interrogate them, it'll be clear." Lia instantly understood a lot of things. No wonder Qin Feng insisted on going against these hoodlums. It was hard for Qin Feng to get Brother Nyo to call for as many people as possible. Qin Feng was making it so that they would not be able to return. Looking at the 100 or so hooligans on the ground, Lia's eyes flickered, as if she had discovered a treasure trove. Even if these hooligans had nothing to do with the missing people case, they were definitely bad guys with criminal records. Leah had just arrived in Zhongchuan City and did not have any achievements. This time, she could catch 100 hooligans and bring them back. Qin Feng, I love you to death. Leah was so excited that she tiptoed and kissed Qin Feng on the cheek. Do you really love me? Then why don't I sleep at your place tonight? Qin Feng laughed. Leah immediately regained her senses, her beautiful face flushed red. I have to interrogate these suspects tonight. I don't think I'll be able to finish them all night. Qin Feng's smile became even wider. No problem, tomorrow night is fine too. Ming, tomorrow night I might also have something to do. Leah's heart was thumping. Then just call me when you're free. I'll be there anytime. Leah was extremely shy and said in a voice as soft as a mosquito, Look, it depends on my mood. Chapter 886. Qin Feng and Leah flirted with each other as if no one else was around. Did he ever consider the feelings of those hoodlums? Brother Ox and the others really wanted to escape, but their legs were all cut open, and even the slightest movement would cause them to feel extreme pain. These people could only sit on the ground and wait for Leah to call a dozen or so police cars to take them away. When the police cars arrived, Big Brother Neo and the others realized that they had been tricked by Qin Feng. This ugly man was fucking dishonest. Ever since Leah escorted Big Brother Neo and the hundreds of hoodlums back, she had been busy interrogating them. The police prison was like the new year, there were no extra cells. Qin Feng continued to stay in the house and flirted with Ma Xinxin. The happiest thing for him every day was to kiss Ma Xinxin and break through. What a wonderful thing it was to break through in the midst of flirting. Ding! Congratulations, host Qin Feng, for completing the first side mission of I'm a Superstar. Your Weibo fans have exceeded 20 million, and you have become a popular singer. The system rewards host Qin Feng 20,000 Hedonist points and a demonic vocal roar. Demonic vocal roar. A demonic cultivator's secret technique, similar to the lion's roar. Once the demonic voice is released, the consciousness of low-level martial artists will be disrupted, and they will lose their ability to fight. Ding! The system has issued the second side mission of Superstar. Become a popular actor and receive an Oscar. Time limit 2 months. If the mission is completed, the system rewards host Qin Feng 20,000 Hedonist points and 3 character conversion cards. If the mission is failed, 40,000 Hedonist points will be deducted, and a random purple-grade spiritual equipment will be taken back. Character conversion card. Randomly draw 3 character conversion cards. After obtaining the character conversion cards, host Qin Feng can possess the peak strength of the corresponding character for half an hour. The system notification sounded in Qin Feng's mind. The Superstar mission had been completed. Just as the system notification disappeared, Ma Xinxin's ear-piercing dolphin voice sounded. Ah! Qin Feng, your Weibo fans suddenly broke through 20 million. Ma Xinxin paid attention to Qin Feng's Weibo every day, especially the number of fans. Because Qin Feng kept repeating that he would break 20 million fans every day, Ma Xinxin's ears almost grew calluses. Now that 20 million fans had really broken through, Ma Xinxin was even more excited than Qin Feng. It was a feeling that was even better than a climax. This is great. It finally broke through 20 million. Xinxin, quick kiss me. Qin Feng already knew that he had broken through 20 million, because the system notified him that he had completed the quest. However, he pretended that he only just knew and hugged Ma Xinxin and started to kiss her. Ma Xinxin was so excited that she didn't pay attention to these things. Qin Feng's arms were strong and strong, his embrace was warm and wide, and his tongue was nimble. In any case, Ma Xinxin was intoxicated. She was completely intoxicated in an instant. Qin Feng's hands started to move about. He realized that this was the first time he kissed Ma Xinxin when she was thinner. This feeling was even more wonderful. Ah, you forcefully kissed me, you go away. After kissing for who knew how long, Ma Xinxin finally came back to her senses. She pushed him away and shyly buried her head between her knees. Qin Feng licked his lips in satisfaction and smiled. Xan, I'm already a popular singer, but this isn't enough for me to display my talents. I've decided that in the future, I'm going to develop my career in film and television. Ma Xinxin forgot to be shy and raised her head to look at Qin Feng in shock. After a while she said, Why you're sure you want to develop in the film industry? What's wrong? Is there a problem? Qin Feng was slightly astonished. Ma Xinxin didn't think there was a problem. In fact, there was a huge problem. The reason why Qin Feng could become popular as a singer was because his voice was too unique. Now, all the popular singers in China had commented on his unique voice. They were envious of Qin Feng's unique voice. However, it was different for a film and television star. They had extremely high requirements for appearance. Qin Feng wanted to be a film and television actor with his looks? It's not impossible. Qin Feng, you want to go the comedy star route, right? Similar to Huang Bo. But you're uglier than Huang Bo, so it's a bit difficult. Ma Xinxin earnestly planned Qin Feng's future path in the film and television industry. The corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched. He was very dissatisfied with this plan. Nonsense, I want to act in a school idol drama. Only the sunny and handsome male lead suits my temperament. Ma Xinxin was about to vomit. She discovered that Qin Feng's narcissism had reached the point of insanity. Ma Xinxin could no longer communicate with Qin Feng normally. However, Qin Feng didn't care. He wasn't joking. He really wanted to be a film and television actor. He wouldn't act unless it was the male lead in a school idol drama. The whole afternoon passed. Ma Xinxin asked Qin Feng about being a film and television actor no less than 100 times. Qin Feng's answers were consistent and resolute. Ma Xinxin couldn't help but believe that Qin Feng was really crazy. Qin Feng, this is for you. You can choose yourself. After dinner, Ma Xinxin tossed a folder to Qin Feng. What's this? Qin Feng asked. Didn't you want to be a film and television actor? I talked to Chairman Du this afternoon. Chairman Du released 15 blockbuster movies that his company is going to invest in. All of them are popular IP masterpieces. Chairman Du said you can choose whichever one you like. Ma Xinxin had always complained that Qin Feng wasn't suitable for the film and television industry, but she still got things done quickly. Qin Feng knew that this girl didn't mean what she said. She obviously thought he was too handsome, and was afraid that he would leave her after he became famous as an actor. Xinxin, don't worry. For the sake of your efforts to help me these days, when I become a popular film and television actor, I will never abandon you. At that time, I will arrange the identity of Little 13 for you. You will be responsible for warming my bed every night. Qin Feng looked at Ma Xinxin seriously. Ma Xinxin was stunned. She didn't know where Qin Feng got the courage to say such words. Little 13? Even a mistress couldn't do it. It's still early. Don't dream. Hurry up and choose a film and TV series, so that I can reply to Chairman Du. Ma Xinxin curled her lips and muttered to herself. Alas! The IP masterpieces that Starlight Media spent a lot of money to create this time are going to be ruined. Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin leaned side by side against the headboard of the bed. Together, they chose 15 popular IP adapters. Wow! These are all popular IP adaptations. Left hand fast, right hand slow. This was my favorite romance novel when I was in junior high. And this sorrow is flowing into the sea. I secretly read this book in high school and cried a lot. This book. This is the one I'm most obsessed with among the tens of thousands of books I've read. Hedonist Sovereign. The author of this book is too talented. This is the most profound and tasteful book I've ever read. Ma Xinxin was startled. Qin Feng was almost dazzled by the beautiful white breasts on her chest. Qin Feng tried his best to calm himself down. Now was the time to get down to business. Qin Feng had also read Hedonist Sovereign. He also felt that this book was very profound. The protagonist was born hedonist and was uninhibited. He was admired and imitated by tens of thousands of people, but never surpassed. Qin Feng felt that the protagonist was very similar to him. Xinxin, what do you think of Hedonist Sovereign? Why don't you choose this one? Qin Feng asked. Of course Hedonist Sovereign is good, but do you want to act it? Why don't you change to another one? Ma Xinxin really liked Hedonist Sovereign, but when she thought about Qin Feng acting in this movie, Ma Xinxin was against it. Why should I change? You liked it, didn't you? And I. No matter if it's the outer image or the inner content, it fits the protagonist's image. Don't you think so? Ma Xinxin didn't think so, but she couldn't say it out loud to hurt Qin Feng. Why don't you act in God Blows Out the Light? There's a character with white hair in this movie. You can try it. What the hell is white hair? It's a corpse that doesn't rot for 1,000 years. Later on, white hair grows on its body. That's roughly what it means. Smoke rose from Qin Feng's head. Ma Xinxin was so scared that she immediately changed her words. Or you can act in Green Cat Sheriff. This is a sci-fi cartoon with a huge investment. It's filmed at the level of a Hollywood blockbuster. No character roles. You can do voice acting. Qin Feng could tell that after all this time. Ma Xinxin was still worried that he wouldn't want her after he became famous. She thought he was too handsome. Qin Feng didn't listen to Ma Xinxin's suggestion at all. He insisted on taking the script for Hedonist Sovereign. Ma Xinxin had no other choice. She decided that after this movie finished filming, she wouldn't go to the cinema. After deciding on the script, Qin Feng flipped through some of the filming information for Hedonist Sovereign. Ma Xinxin rummaged through another folder for a while and pulled out a stack of documents to hand to Qin Feng. This is the information sheet for the actors, producers, and directors of the Hedonist Sovereign movie. We've already finished preparing for this movie, and we're currently choosing the male lead. If you accept this movie, we can start shooting at any time. Ma Xinxin said reluctantly. Qin Feng was very happy. His goal was to finish the system's quests in the shortest amount of time possible. Okay, tell little Du to stop the auditions. I'll be the male lead for this movie. Start filming as soon as possible. Ma Xinxin went to explain the situation to Chairman Du with a face full of disappointment. Qin Feng flipped through the script and the list of actors. After skimming through the script, Qin Feng liked this movie more and more. This was because there was only one male lead in Hedonist Sovereign, and countless female leads. Qin Feng quickly looked at the list of actors for the female lead. The names on the first and second row excited Qin Feng. Female lead Rao Sherman. Female lead Zhang Kuku. So the pretty girl group has also accepted this movie. Then Qin Feng has to be the male lead even more. I wonder if there are any sex scenes? I need to ask little Du to add more sex scenes. The more Qin Feng thought about it, the more excited he became. He continued to look at the list of actresses. Female lead Shui Er. Second female lead Fan Lingling. Third female lead Lin Jiling. The list of actresses, from the first female lead to the 18th female lead, were all women who had an ambiguous relationship with Qin Feng in this movie. There were a total of 3 female leads. Aside from Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku, Qin Feng had also heard of Shui Er. She was a popular young actress who suddenly became popular in the recent year. Every one of her teen movies was a hit in the box office. She crushed all the other movies of the same time period. Qin Feng was very satisfied with the 3 female leads. The second female lead to the 18th female lead were all famous female stars. Qin Feng could not wait to flirt with so many female stars. Qin Feng, why are you smiling like an idiot? Ma Xinxin came back after she finished talking with Chairman Du Xinxin. The female lead of this movie is the pretty girl group in Shui Er. Qin Feng shouted. Ma Xinxin slapped her forehead and began to pray for these 3 big stars. These 3 were Ma Xinxin's favorite stars. Who would have thought that their careers would be blocked so soon? Oh, Chairman Du said that this movie is reserved for you. You can look for him anytime. Ma Xinxin's mood plummeted. Her voice was weak. Chapter 887. Zhongchuan City, Aishang Bar. This is the main base of the Lone Dragon Gang. In the innermost private suite of the bar, Brother Lone Dragon and Brother Li were kneeling on the ground. On the sofa opposite them, Li Xiaojie was sitting there with a cold expression. A few days ago, something big happened to the Lone Dragon Gang. Over 100 brothers of the gang were arrested and brought to the police station in one night. This caused the Lone Dragon Gang to lose a lot of strength, and they didn't even have enough manpower for the past few days. Tell me, what's the point of keeping your dog lives? Li Xiaojie's body was emitting an evil aura of death. The entire room was filled with this aura, scaring Brother Lone Dragon and Brother Li to the point of breaking out in a cold sweat. Elderly, One-Eyed Dragon tried our best. This happened too suddenly, One-Eyed Dragon and I had no choice. We've already asked around. It was that Leah who did it. Last time, she was also the one who arrested us. That woman is purposely going against our Lone Dragon gang. Brother Li hurriedly explained, pushing all the blame onto Leah. Li Xiaojie did not want to listen to an explanation. He only wanted results. Ever since the pill competition, after Ghost Face Mountain was killed, Li Xiaojie escaped back to the Verdant sect alone, and was placed in an important position by the Verdant sect leader. The Verdant sect assigned Li Xiaojie to Zhongchuan City, and handed this territory over to Li Xiaojie to develop. This was the first mission given to Li Xiaojie by the Verdant sect, so he could not afford to make any mistakes. Stop talking about useless things. You must complete the mission I gave you. Capture 300 people a month, or else I can replace you at any time. Li Xiaojie did not care about their feelings. Brother Li and Brother Lone Dragon were so scared that they immediately kowtowed. Elderly, it's not that we're lazy, it's just that the mission you've given us is too heavy. Right now, the police in Zhongchuan City are vigorously investigating the missing persons case. We're already committing a crime against the wind. The danger has greatly increased. This time, Leah has captured half of the brothers in the gang. The remaining people are simply too busy. I hope Elderly can understand. Brotherly was truly helpless. With his current ability and the number of members in the Lone Dragon gang, even if they killed him and One-Eyed Dragon, they would not be able to complete the mission given by Li Xiaojie. The two of them couldn't possibly go to the pedestrian street in broad daylight and kidnap anyone they saw, right? Li Xiaojie could also tell that Brother Li had really done his best. After pondering for a moment, he said, "How about this? I'll help you guys kill that woman called Leah. That way you guys can complete the mission, right?" "Yes, if that's the case, One-Eyed Dragon and I will definitely complete the mission." The biggest enemies of the Lone Dragon gang were Leah and Qinfeng, especially Leah. She was in a high position and had seriously hindered the plan to kidnap people. If they could get rid of Leah, Brother Li and One-Eyed Dragon would be able to do things easily. "Elderly, there's still that ugly guy. Do you want to get rid of him as well?" Big Brother Lone Dragon hurriedly agreed with Big Brother Li. He had always hated Qinfeng because he was blinded by Qinfeng. "Yes, Elderly, that ugly toad man is very strong, and he has an affair with Leah. If you kill Leah, that ugly toad might take revenge on us." Brother Li and One-Eyed Dragon had personally witnessed Qinfeng's skills. They were so strong that it was inconceivable. He was someone who could calmly injure people in front of a dozen or so spears. Brother Li and One-Eyed Dragon were even worried in their hearts that Elderly was not that brat's match. Li Xiaojie held back a trace of coldness. He said disdainfully, "Look at you guys, you think you're powerful just because you're a human. Watch carefully, I'll take care of that dog couple when I'm free. You guys just need to continue with the kidnapping mission." Since Li Xiaojie had already said so, Brother Li and One-Eyed Dragon only needed to do as they were told. When they thought about how Leah and Qinfeng were going to be tortured to death, the two of them were extremely excited. After Qinfeng accepted the movie Playboy Sovereign, Director Du began to busy himself with preparations. After waiting for 2 days, Ma Xinxin received a call from Director Du, inviting her to the company to chat in detail with Qinfeng. Last time, Qinfeng swindled more than 10,000 yuan from the man in the white suit. Later, he gave all the money to Ma Xinxin. Ma Xinxin secretly went to a branded store to buy a white suit and a blue shirt for Qinfeng. Early this morning, Ma Xinxin helped Qinfeng change into the clothes. Qinfeng used to go out in a suit. He hadn't worn a suit for a month. Standing in front of the mirror and looking at himself in a well-ironed white suit, Qinfeng was about to faint from his handsomeness. "Qinfeng, are you done? If you keep looking at yourself, the mirror will break." Qinfeng was admiring himself when Ma Xinxin started to complain again. Qinfeng didn't care about Ma Xinxin's words. He just thought that Ma Xinxin was jealous of his handsomeness. The two of them dressed up, ate breakfast, and rushed to Starlight Media Company. Just as they arrived downstairs, Director Du was already waiting at the entrance with a group of company executives. Mr. Zheng Shuai, I've been waiting for you. Director Du walked at the front with a thick smile on his face. The directors, vice presidents, and managers behind him didn't dare to talk to Qin Feng easily. They just greeted him politely and immediately retreated to the side with a smile. Little Du, how's the movie preparation going? Qin Feng had become immune to flattery and directly began to talk about business. Director Du led Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin all the way to the company. He always kept half a step behind Qin Feng. Mr. Zheng, don't worry about the movie. I've already contacted Hong Kong's House of Millions Media Company. The boss over there is waiting for you to go over and then start shooting. They had already walked into the hall. Qin Feng pulled Ma Xinxin to sit on the sofa in the reception area, as if he had come to his own home. Director Du waved his hand, and the group of executives retreated. Hong Kong's House of Millions Media Company? Why did you contact the boss over there? Qin Feng asked. Director Du was a little nervous and hurriedly explained. Mr. Zheng Shuai, there's something I haven't had time to tell you. The movie rights of the movie you chose, Hedonist Sovereign, were bought by Hong Kong's House of Millions Media Company. This time, their company is investing in the movie, and our Starlight Media is mainly arranging actors. Qin Feng frowned slightly. He thought that this movie was in the hands of Starlight Media. If this was the case, there would probably be some trouble. Mr. Zheng Shuai, this is all my fault. When Miss Xinxin confirmed the movie with me, I should have explained the situation. If Mr. Zheng Shuai isn't satisfied, you can choose another movie to shoot. Of the 18 movies that were sent to you last time, only Hedonist Sovereign is from Hong Kong's investors. The other 17 are all copyrighted by Starlight Media. You can shoot however you want. Qin Feng was worried about this. The copyright owner and investor were Hong Kong's House of Millions Media Company. Qin Feng wasn't familiar with them. If Qin Feng wanted to add a sex scene, what would he do if they didn't allow it? However, he couldn't shoot the other scenes with the pretty girls group and Snow. There weren't that many female leads. Qin Feng really had a headache. Forget it, let's shoot this one. When the time comes, you can talk to the Hong Kong company and fight for the rights to adapt the script, Qin Feng said. Director Du was slightly stunned. He didn't understand what Qin Feng meant. But Director Du quickly came back to his senses. Okay, I'll do my best. After talking about the movie, both parties confirmed the shooting time. According to the regular schedule, they would leave for Hong Kong tomorrow to shoot the movie. After figuring out everything, Qin Feng prepared to go back and rest. Director Du hurriedly stood up to send him off. He even added, Mr. Zheng Shuai, I'll send a car to your place to pick you and Miss Xinxin at 8 a.m. tomorrow. The pretty girls group will go with you to Hong Kong. I've chartered a private plane. Mr. Zheng Shuai, you don't have to worry about this. Qin Feng had just stood up, but he suddenly sat back down. This confused Ma Xinxin and Director Du Zheng Shuai. Shall we go? Ma Xinxin asked. Ahem. I've been here for so long, but I haven't even had a cup of coffee. I'm a little disappointed, Qin Feng said after clearing his throat. Ma Xinxin was speechless. Isn't this Qin Feng too useless? He came to discuss a movie collaboration, and only left after freeloading a cup of coffee? Director Du was stunned for a long time, before he finally came back to his senses. He hurriedly yelled at the front desk, Quick, get 2 cups of coffee. Seeing that Qin Feng really wanted to drink the coffee, Ma Xinxin curled her lips and sat back down. Director Du was extremely depressed. This was the first time he met such a strange celebrity like Zheng Shuai. Qin Feng acted as if he didn't see everyone's astonished expression. He said carelessly, Oh right. The pretty girls group is also going with us tomorrow? Where are they now? Ma Xinxin and Director Du instantly understood Qin Feng's words. The two of them couldn't help but nod. Ma Xinxin even snorted coldly. Qin Feng's face turned red. He was a little embarrassed. Mr. Zheng Shuai, the pretty girls group's manager just contacted me. Their flight will arrive in Zhongchuan City in half an hour. I've already sent a car to pick them up, Director Du said truthfully. Qin Feng pretended to be calm and nodded. He sighed with emotion. Yes. By the time they arrive, it'll be dinner time. The corner of Ma Xinxin's mouth twitched violently. She already guessed what Qin Feng wanted to do. However, Director Du didn't quite understand. He smiled and replied, Yes, I've already booked a hotel and dinner for the pretty girls group. They can eat and sleep when they arrive. Qin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes at Director Du. He continued, Yes, they can eat when they arrive. Xinxin, what are we eating tonight? Ma Xinxin knew that Qin Feng was going to say this. She turned her body and ignored Qin Feng. Director Du slapped his forehead and finally understood. Ahem. Mr. Zheng Shuai, don't worry. I've prepared a banquet tonight. When the pretty girls group arrives, how about we have a meal together? Qin Feng's expression was calm as he said, Have a meal together? All right, since Director Du has already prepared, I won't spoil your mood. Director Du and Ma Xinxin looked at Qin Feng's flawless acting and didn't know what to say. However, Ma Xinxin suddenly had a trace of anticipation for the movie Hedonist Sovereign. With Qin Feng's superb acting skills, it was worth watching. Chapter 888. Time passed quickly as they chatted. Suddenly, a group of people walked into the entrance of Starry Live Media. It was the pretty girls group. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku walked in front, followed by a female manager. The executives of Starry Live Media surrounded them and escorted the pretty girls group into the house. Music novel Rao Sherman wore a pair of big sunglasses and a milky white open-necked windbreaker that covered her from neck to calf. She wore a red sweater and shorts inside, revealing her slender and fair legs. She wore a pair of black high heels, and her blonde curly hair draped over her shoulders. She looked like a European and American fashionista. Zhang Kuku held Rao Sherman's arm, dressed in a hip-hop outfit as usual. He wore a hip-hop hat on his head and a loose gray hoodie on his upper body. His pants were full of holes, as if they had been washed for a long time. He wore a pair of white canvas shoes on his feet. His style was completely different from Rao Sherman's. Both of them wore big sunglasses. They weren't trying to act cool. They were too popular now. If they were recognized by their fans, they wouldn't be able to come here today. After entering the house, both of them took off their sunglasses. Zhang Kuku curiously looked around and jumped around like a monkey. Rao Sherman, on the other hand, was calm and elegant. She stopped in front of Chairman Du. Chairman Du, Kuku and I were recognized at the exit of the airport. Sorry to keep you waiting. Although Rao Sherman had a high status, she never put on airs. Chairman Du quickly stood up to welcome her. Haha. Superstar Sherman, you don't have to be so courteous with me. You and Kuku are the top stars of Starry Live Media. We're old friends. Rao Sherman greeted Chairman Du. Zhang Kuku was used to doing things her own way, so she ignored Chairman Du and enjoyed herself. Chairman Du understood Zhang Kuku's character, so he wasn't angry. The executives of Starry Live Media retreated. Zhang Kuku ran around the hall and returned to Rao Sherman. Wow. Sherman, look. That man is so ugly. I've never seen such an ugly man in my life. He's even uglier than Teacher Qiaofeng. Rao Sherman was exchanging pleasantries with Mr. Du when she was startled by Zhang Kuku's sudden outburst. Black lines appeared on Rao Sherman's forehead. Zhang Kuku's personality was always like this. She would say whatever came to her mind. Ahem. Mister, I'm really sorry. My sister didn't mean any harm. She's just a little kid who hasn't grown up yet. Please don't take it to heart. Rao Sherman hastily apologized to Qin Feng and secretly glared at Zhang Kuku. Qin Feng felt as if a knife had been stabbed in his chest. When he met Zhang Kuku in Provincial Capital University as Qiaofeng, this girl was very mischievous. She would always accidentally say something that hurt Qin Feng's heart. It had been a while since they last met, but this last was still the same as before. Before Qin Feng could speak, Zhang Kuku pouted and complained. Sherman, did I say anything wrong? He's ugly to begin with. Kuku has never lied in her life. Sherman, if you have the guts, call him handsome. Let's see how embarrassed he is. Zhang Kuku's stern and serious expression froze the atmosphere. Cold sweat broke out on Chairman Du's forehead. Ma Xinxin's mouth twitched from time to time as she tried to hold back her laughter. Rao Sherman held her forehead. She was at her wit's end. Qin Feng gritted his teeth. He wanted to swallow Zhang Kuku alive. See, if Sherman didn't call you handsome, Sherman wouldn't be able to. Zhang Kuku added. Chairman Du couldn't stand it anymore. He hastily stepped forward to mediate. Haha, Sherman Kuku. Let me introduce you. This is the popular singer Zheng Shuai. And this beautiful lady is his manager, Ma Xinxin. Wow, so you're Zheng Shuai. I've always liked listening to your songs. Nice to meet you. Zhang Kuku took the initiative to shake hands with Qin Feng after learning his identity. Qin Feng was furious, but his anger dissipated a little when he saw this girl's ability to appreciate his looks. I didn't expect you to be uglier in real life than in the video, but it doesn't matter. You've chosen the path of strength. Let those who say you're ugly die. Zhang Kuku added. Qin Feng held Zhang Kuku's hand. It was soft and smooth, and he enjoyed the feeling. He shook Zhang Kuku's hand off and said, Zhang Kuku, that's enough. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll smack your butt. Zhang Kuku was so frightened that she hid behind Rao Sherman. Rao Sherman frowned slightly. Mr. Zheng Shuai, please watch your words. Kuku is a girl, and your words are too frivolous. All right. We're all in the entertainment industry, and we're all from Star Media. We should help each other. I've already prepared dinner. Let's go eat together. Chairman Du noticed that the atmosphere was not right, so he hastily tried to persuade both parties. Rao Sherman remained expressionless. Zhang Kuku stuck her tongue out at Qin Feng. The manager that the two girls brought along was called Sister Ling. The previous manager, Sister Li, was fired after she betrayed the two girls. Qin Feng paid special attention to Sister Ling. She was much more pleasing to the eye compared to the previous Sister Li. Chairman Du, let's skip the dinner. This is the first time Kuku and I are filming a movie. We need to go back and learn more about the things that an actor should pay attention to. Rao Sherman never liked to eat with others. Chairman Du could not let the pretty girl duo go since they were the people that Qin Feng wanted to have dinner with. Sherman, are you still worried about Chairman Du? It's just a dinner. Don't worry. Oh right, Mr. Zheng Shuai is the male lead of your movie. We can sit together and get to know each other better. It'll be easier for us to film in the future. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku's jaws dropped when Chairman Du finished his words. Chairman Du, did I hear it wrong? Mr. Zheng Shuai is the male lead of this movie? Rao Sherman was dumbfounded. Zhang Kuku hastily asked. Chairman Du, are you talking about the same thing as us? We're talking about the movie Hedonist Sovereign. The pretty girl duo's reaction was within Chairman Du's expectations. Chairman Du smiled awkwardly and said, Hee. I'm also talking about the movie Hedonist Sovereign. Mr. Zheng Shuai is the male lead. This matter has been decided, and there will be no changes. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku were dumbfounded for a full minute. This was the first time the two women had switched to film. Initially, they had high hopes for Hedonist Sovereign, but now, they were completely disappointed. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku were both stunned. Chairman Du, do you want to reconsider this matter? Rao Sherman said awkwardly. Hee, I can't make the decision. It's young Master Yang's decision. Chairman Du laughed. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku were at their wits' end when they heard that Yang Kan had appointed him as the male lead of Hedonist Sovereign. They couldn't change Yang Kan's mind. Sherman Kuku, let's have dinner together. Actually, Mr. Zheng Shuai is very talented. Maybe you'll learn to appreciate him after knowing him for a long time. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku couldn't reject Chairman Du's invitation. In fact, Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku admired Zheng Shuai very much. Rao Sherman even supported Zheng Shuai on Weibo. But to appoint Zheng Shuai as the male lead of Hedonist Sovereign, Rao Sherman thought it was unreliable. They left the company in a grandiose manner. Chairman Du wanted to bring a few bodyguards with him, but was rejected by Qin Feng. It had been a long time since Qin Feng last saw Rao Sherman. Ma Xinxin misunderstood Qin Feng's behavior by walking beside Rao Sherman. She cursed at Qin Feng in a low voice along the way. Sherman, thank you for promoting me on Weibo. Qin Feng took the initiative to find a topic to chat with Rao Sherman. Rao Sherman maintained a safe distance from Qin Feng and said politely, You don't have to thank me. It's your talent and voice that attracted me. By the way, Please don't mind what happened just now. Cuckoo, and I didn't mean anything by it. I'm a magnanimous man. I didn't take it to heart. It's rare for me to get together with Miss Sherman. After dinner, we can discuss music together. It'll be great if we can collaborate on a song. They hadn't arrived at the hotel yet, but Qin Feng already thought of getting a room after dinner. Let's talk about this after dinner. Cuckoo and I have been on the road for a whole day, so we might need to rest early tonight. Rao Sherman declined tactfully. Qin Feng didn't mind. We're going to Hong Kong to film a movie tomorrow. We'll have a lot of time. I hope I can get along well with Miss Sherman. Now that Qin Feng had changed his appearance, the way he spoke was more polite. He didn't want to scare Rao Sherman and make it difficult for him to approach her in the future. The six of them took 2 cars and arrived at the best 5-star hotel in Zhongchuan City. A private room was already reserved. As soon as they entered the hotel, a receptionist led them upstairs. Haha, it's a joyous occasion for the 3 talented and beautiful ladies of our music industry to gather together today. Chairman Du gestured for everyone to take their seats. His mission today was to lighten the mood. Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin sat side by side while Rao Sherman, Zhang Cuckoo, and Sister Ling sat opposite them. Zhang Cuckoo suddenly walked to Qin Feng's other side and sat down. Her action stunned everyone. Cuckoo, you like sitting next to me? Very good. I'll get you some food later. Qin Feng looked at the lively and adorable Zhang Cuckoo. This was the first time he found her so pleasing to the eye. Pfft, you're thinking too much. I can't eat when I look up from the opposite side and see you. Zhang Cuckoo rolled her eyes at Qin Feng. This girl had always been merciless with her words. The corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched. The other 4 couldn't help but burst into laughter. Soon, a sumptuous dinner was served. With Chairman Du's help, the atmosphere was very lively. Although Zhang Cuckoo always made sarcastic remarks about Qin Feng, she and Qin Feng got along very well. The 2 of them were like a pair of quarrelsome lovers. Ma Xinxin was a little jealous when she saw this. Aya, that plate of prawns is placed in the middle. How can I reach it? Big brother Zheng Shuai, help me get a piece. Zhang Cuckoo looked at Qin Feng pitifully. She was a completely different person compared to when she was bickering with Qin Feng. Do you want to eat prawns? Call me handsome first. Handsome, give me a piece of prawn. Zhang Cuckoo's voice was very affectionate. Qin Feng's body almost went limp when he heard it. Here, this is your reward. Honest children are the prettiest. Qin Feng couldn't help patting Zhang Cuckoo's head. As soon as the prawn entered her bowl, Zhang Cuckoo pouted and glared at Qin Feng. Don't touch me. I lied to you just now. If you want a handsome man, you'll have to be a handsome man. Chapter 889. Qin Feng had dominated China for 20 years, and he had always been the one who made others suffer. He had never suffered a loss. However, Qin Feng's protagonist aura was automatically shielded from Zhang Cuckoo. His temper flared throughout the meal. Zhang Cuckoo, on the other hand, became happier as she ate. Her hands were full of food, and her mouth was covered with grease. Her long legs were restlessly kicking, and Qin Feng's newly bought white trousers were stained black. Sherman, are you done eating? Qin Feng was afraid of Zhang Cuckoo. It was a mistake to let Zhang Cuckoo sit beside him. Rao Sherman was much more ladylike. She wiped her mouth and never touched her chopsticks again. She sat quietly across from Zhang Cuckoo and Qin Feng and watched them bicker. I'm done eating. Rao Sherman smiled at Qin Feng politely. Everyone's relationship with each other improved after the meal. Cuckoo, look at Sherman. She has to take care of her figure during every meal. You're just like a little sow. Eat until you die. Qin Feng complained to Zhang Cuckoo and hastily went to Rao Sherman's side. Zhang Cuckoo's face was flushed with anger. However, her mouth was full of food. She stuttered for a long time, and no one understood what she was talking about. Sherman, since we're done eating, why don't we sing a song together? Qin Feng suggested. Chairman Du and Ma Xinxin immediately raised their hands in agreement. Rao Sherman and Qin Feng were the 2 representatives of the music industry. If they sang a song together, the video would go viral. I think Mr. Zheng Shuai's suggestion is very good. Miss Sherman, you must agree to it. That's great. That's great. I'll record a video for you. Ma Xinxin clapped her hands and cheered. She even skipped her meal and picked up her cell phone, ready to record at any time. Rao Sherman found it hard to refuse. Moreover, she really admired Zheng Shuai's voice. A few days ago, she thought it would be good to have a chance to sing a song together with Zheng Shuai. Alright, what song shall we sing? Rao Sherman stood up. Her tall and slender figure was very attractive. Let's sing your famous song. Because of you. Alright, let's sing a duet. Rao Sherman immediately agreed to Qin Feng's suggestion. She also wanted to sing Because of You. After the two of them finished discussing, they started to prepare. Qin Feng called for a wooden guitar, while Rao Sherman stood to the side, ready to sing at any time. Qin Feng nodded at Rao Sherman. Then he strummed the zither. Instantly, a melodious yet sorrowful melody filled the room. Zhang Kuku forgot to continue eating the lobster in her hand, as she stared at the melody with widened eyes. In an instant, Rao Sherman was intoxicated by the sound of Qin Feng's guitar. It was the first time Rao Sherman realized that an ordinary wooden guitar could produce such a beautiful and enchanting sound. Because of you, I will not give up on my dream. Because of you there is light in front of me. Qin Feng opened his mouth and sang the first line, because he realized that Rao Sherman was still in a daze. His ethereal and hoarse voice rang out. Everyone used to listen to Qin Feng's songs on the internet. Now that they were listening to the live version, it was even more mesmerizing. Rao Sherman finally came back to her senses. It was time for her to sing. This song was composed by Rao Sherman herself, and the lyrics were also written by her. She felt that she was the only one who could sing this song with the feeling in her heart. But Rao Sherman didn't dare to speak after hearing Qin Feng's voice. We met in the summer 8 years ago. Time flies in the blink of an eye. I'm walking on the path of my dream, and it's all because of you. And you, where are you now? Rao Sherman opened her mouth. When she sang, her entire aura changed. Rao Sherman's voice was naturally unique. It was like the sound of nature, and everyone who listened to it was filled with enjoyment. It's because of you that there is yearning. It's because of you that there is loneliness. It's because of you that there is anticipation. It's because of you. It's because of you. My heart is filled with you. When it came to the chorus, Qin Feng and Rao Sherman sang together. Their voices were unique, and each had their own unique characteristics. It was two different voices, but when combined, it reached a sublimation in the depths of the soul. Ma Xinxin was already crying. President Du's eyes were slightly red and swollen. Sister Ling lowered her head and wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes. Even Zhang Kuku became quiet. This silly girl actually became quiet? This was the first time Qin Feng saw Zhang Kuku being so quiet since he knew her. It was another sweet-sounding sweep, signifying the end of the song. Everyone was still immersed in the beautiful melody with a touch of sadness, unable to come back to their senses. Since Zhang Kuku was a frequent singer of this song, she was the first to regain her senses. Then, she continued to peel the lobster shell in her hand, as if nothing had happened. The squeaking sound destroyed the beautiful atmosphere. Rao Sherman had yet to return to her senses. She was still intoxicated by the melody of Qin Feng's guitar. Rao Sherman remembered that she had collaborated with many people for this song. She had even forgotten the names of some of them. However, the most memorable collaboration that left a deep impression on Rao Sherman was when she resonated with Qin Feng in the Qin mansion. At that time, Qin Feng was playing the piano while Rao Sherman sang. Both of them had reached a soul-deep connection, and it was an unforgettable experience for Rao Sherman. However, tonight, Rao Sherman found that soul-deep connection again. And this time, it was the ugly-looking Zheng Shuai who caused her soul to climax. Rao Sherman gradually regained her senses, and a blush appeared on her fair and charming face. Rao Sherman's heart raced. She was a little excited, and a little guilty at the same time. Rao Sherman felt that she had cheated on him. She clearly liked Qin Feng, but she fell in love with Zheng Shuai during the song. Although that feeling was fleeting and Rao Sherman had calmed down now, the feeling of their souls merging with each other was real and profound. Therefore, Rao Sherman blamed herself for betraying Qin Feng, and cheating on him in a split second. Clap, clap, clap. The room was filled with applause. Ma Xinxin and the others had regained their senses. Ma Xinxin, Chairman Du, and Big Sis Ling applauded from the bottom of their hearts. They'd all heard Qin Feng and Rao Sherman sing, "Because of You Alone," but it was only tonight that they realized this song had reached a whole new level. Miss Xinxin, did you record the part just now? Chairman Du looked at Ma Xinxin excitedly. This video was a treasure. Chairman Du planned to post it on his own platform and publicize it. I don't know. I was lost in thought while listening to it. Let me watch it first. Ma Xinxin remembered that she had recorded the video. She quickly checked her phone. Fortunately, the video was successfully recorded. Chairman Du heaved a sigh of relief. Sherman, you sang so well. Qin Feng walked to Rao Sherman and started to strike up a conversation. Rao Sherman's feelings toward Zheng Shuai had changed subtly after they sang this song together. She was afraid of Zheng Shuai now, but it was not fear or nervousness. Thank you. I'm a little tired. Cuckoo Big Sister Ling. I'll go back first. Rao Sherman took a few steps back, as Qin Feng walked closer to her, as if he was a bad guy. Qin Feng was dumbfounded by Rao Sherman's action. He thought the song would warm up their relationship, but it turned out to have the opposite effect. Chairman Du, can I buy some lobsters and crabs for supper? Zhang Kuku didn't forget about the delicious food before she left. Chairman Du didn't dare to provoke Zhang Kuku. This girl was too crafty. Chairman Du hastily ordered the waiter to pack the lobsters and crabs for Zhang Kuku. Zhang Kuku was so happy that she couldn't close her mouth. Everyone, I'll go back with Sherman and Big Sister Ling now. See you tomorrow, ugly man. Zhang Kuku stabbed Qin Feng before she left. Qin Feng almost chased after her to give her a good beating. Qin Feng didn't want to stay any longer after Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku left, so he left with Ma Xinxin. Ma Xinxin was unhappy as soon as they stepped out of the hotel. She pinched Qin Feng's waist. Qin Feng was caught off guard, and he grimaced in pain. Xian, did you eat too many crabs? Why did you start pinching me? You're the one who ate too many crabs. I just want to pinch you. Ma Xinxin pouted her lips and acted like an unreasonable person. Ever since Qin Feng met the pretty girl duo, he had ignored Ma Xinxin. Ma Xinxin ate alone, and she was so angry that she was almost full. You want to pinch me? It's not like I can't. Why don't you nibble down there? Qin Feng glanced at Ma Xinxin, and then at his belly button. Ma Xinxin was stunned. She stared at Qin Feng in disbelief. She didn't expect Qin Feng to say something so shameless. You're the one who said it, you big jerk. I'll strangle you to death. Ma Xinxin was really angry, and she was afraid of herself when she was angry. Qin Feng was afraid, but not because he was afraid of pain. In fact, it didn't hurt at all. In fact, it felt good. However, they were on the street, and Qin Feng was almost killed by the stares from the passers-by. Sherman, what are you thinking? You didn't even talk to me on the way back. While Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin were having fun, Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku were bored in the car back to the hotel. Kuku, what did you just say? Rao Sherman came back to her senses. Her cheeks were flushed again. She couldn't help but recall the scene when she sang a duet with Zheng Shuai. Sherman, are you possessed by a ghost? Is your soul taken away by a ghost? Oh no, Sherman. Don't tell me you've fallen in love with Zheng Shuai? Zhang Kuku was so flustered that the chauffeur could feel someone kicking the back of his seat. What nonsense are you talking about? You don't talk nonsense or I'll get angry. Rao Sherman was startled. She quickly glared at Zhang Kuku. Zhang Kuku put on an indifferent expression and continued. Sherman, don't you like Qin Feng? You have to be faithful to teacher Qiaofeng. You can't fall in love with someone else. That Zheng Shuai is ugly and naughty. He's not a good person, so don't fall in love with him. Zhang Kuku lectured Rao Sherman earnestly, making it seem as if Rao Sherman really liked Zheng Shuai. You damned girl. I'll sew your mouth shut if you continue to talk nonsense. Rao Sherman felt as if she was caught having an affair. Her heart beat even faster. Zhang Kuku hastily covered her mouth and moved her butt away from Rao Sherman. She continued to mutter, "This is too scary. The entertainment circle is too scary." Sure Man is going to find Qin Feng as her husband and Zheng Shuai as her manager. Chapter 890. 8 o'clock in the morning at Zhongchuan Airport. Qin Feng and the beauty duo met again. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku had changed their outfits, but their styles remained the same. Rao Sherman was fashionable and elegant, while Zhang Kuku was hip-hop and funny. Last night, Ma Xinqin pinched Qin Feng for the whole night. The flesh on his waist was swollen. Meeting the beauty duo again, Qin Feng had learned to be smart. He would bring Ma Xinqin into the conversation whenever they were chatting. Ma Xinqin was very satisfied with his behavior. Mr. Zheng Shuai, Sure Man, Kuku. I still have some matters to attend to, so I won't be accompanying you. I'll go to Hong Kong after I'm done with my work. President Du bade farewell to them after he sent them to the airport. The 5 of them chartered a chartered plane to Hong Kong. Zhongchuan City and Hong Kong were separated by the sea. It only took them about 20 minutes to reach Hong Kong by plane. More than 10 minutes were spent on takeoff and landing. Stepping on the ground of Hong Kong, Qin Feng felt a sense of familiarity. Not long ago, he and Yan Wushuang came to Hong Kong for a mission. Now he was back. Wow, we're in Hong Kong. Quick, quick, quick. Let's take a taxi to go shopping. Big brother Zheng Shuai is the best. Zhang Kuku usually called Qin Feng ugly, but whenever she needed his help, she would call him big brother. Qin Feng was speechless. Kuku, stop yelling. We're here to shoot a movie. President Du said that the representative of Hong Kong's House of Millions Media will come to pick us up. Behave yourself. Rao Sherman was used to Zhang Kuku's noisy personality. She had a love-hate relationship with Zhang Kuku. We can shoot a movie anytime. How can we delay our business? Zhang Kuku inverted right and wrong. She treated work as her spare time, and fun as her business. Qin Feng and Ma Xinqin slapped their foreheads. How did this girl become so popular? Miss Sherman, Miss Kuku. I'm the production director of Hong Kong's House of Millions Media, Guotao. The company's CEO told me to come and pick you up when he learned that you're coming today. Please follow us back to the company's headquarters, said a man in a suit and leather shoes. Before they arrived, President Du had given them the information of the receptionist. Rao Sherman verified it and confirmed Guotao's identity. Hello, Director Gua. Sorry for troubling you. Rao Sherman greeted Guotao politely. Guotao's gaze lingered on Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku for a few seconds. A hint of possessiveness flashed in the depth of his eyes. Who is this beauty? Just as Guotao was about to bring his men into the car, his eyes lit up when he saw Ma Xinqin standing beside Qin Feng. There's another woman here, who's as beautiful as Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku? Director Gua, this is Miss Ma Xinqin, Zheng Shuai's manager. That is Mr. Zheng Shuai. Rao Sherman took the initiative to introduce Qin Feng. This was the first time Guotao looked Qin Feng in the eye. Previously, Guotao thought Qin Feng was a bodyguard brought by the pretty girl duo. Zheng Shuai? Who the hell was he? How come I didn't know? Guotao glanced at Qin Feng. The way he spoke was completely different from the way he spoke to the pretty girl duo. Qin Feng was ignored in public. Ma Xinqin and the pretty young lady duo were a bit unhappy. Director Gua, Zheng Shuai came with us to film the movie. He's the male lead of the movie Hedonist Sovereign. Rao Sherman had been defending Qin Feng, but she didn't even realize it. What the hell? What kind of international joke is this? This ugly freak is the male lead? Do we still want the box office? Do you think we're playing with the money we invested? Initially, Guotao wanted to act like a gentleman in front of the pretty girl duo. Maybe he would have the chance to push them down during the filming. However, after knowing Qin Feng's identity, Guotao instantly revealed his true colors. He became a complete hooligan and cursed the moment he opened his mouth. Director Gua, is there a need to make such a fuss? You're not as handsome as me. Why can't I be the male lead? Qin Feng couldn't bear listening to Guotao's words. If it wasn't for the fact that he was afraid of scaring the 3 beauties beside him, he would have slapped Guotao a long time ago. Guotao's face darkened with anger. I am not as handsome as you. Why you can scold me, but you can't insult me like this. Why don't you ask your man and Kukuku if I'm not as handsome as you? Indeed, Guotao wasn't handsome. However, after seeing Qin Feng, he became more confident. Zhang Kuku and Rao Sherman were dissatisfied with Guotao. What does Zheng Shuai's handsomeness have to do with you? Who in the world would make sarcastic remarks as soon as they met? Although Zhang Kuku was more sarcastic than Guotao when she first met Qin Feng, she refused to admit it. Director Gua, Zheng Shuai is indeed more handsome than you. Yeah, Kuku thinks so too. Kuku never lies. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku stood on Qin Feng's side. Zheng Shuai was stunned for over 10 seconds before he regained his senses. Then, he went crazy. I don't care who you are. Anyway, Hedonist Sovereign won't let you be the male lead. Go back to where you came from. Guotao didn't give Qin Feng a friendly look. This was Hong Kong, Guotao's territory. The girls rolled their eyes in anger. Even Sister Ling couldn't stand Guotao's behavior. However, Qin Feng's expression was calm as he said indifferently, "Your words are useless." It was Starlight Media's CEO, who begged me to act as the male lead in Hedonist Sovereign. Only the CEO of House of Millions Media can talk to me about this. You're not qualified. Hurry and take us back to the company, or I'll beat you up. Qin Feng had run out of patience. He raised his hand and stretched it toward Guotao. Guotao was a skinny monkey. He was scared when he saw Qin Feng's sturdy body. He yelled hastily, What are you doing? I'm warning you, don't hit me." Qin Feng stretched his hand toward Guotao and retracted it. He combed his hair and said, "What the hell are you yelling for? I'm just messing with my hair. Look at how scared you are. You're even more cowardly than a girl." Guotao was so angry that his nose became crooked. Zhang Kuku chimed in. "That's right. You're even more cowardly than Kuku. How embarrassing. Why you guys?" Guotao dressed up meticulously and arrived in high spirits. He wanted to leave a good impression on the pretty girl group. He didn't expect that he would be so embarrassed in less than 5 minutes. Guotao was so angry that he couldn't even utter a complete sentence. Qin Feng didn't give him a chance to speak. You, what are you talking about? Are you mute? Are you mute to receive me and the pretty girl group? What kind of people are in your company?" If there was a ranking for bickering, then Qin Feng was at the top. He was invincible in the universe. With a few words, he turned Guotao from a strong and arrogant guy to a guy who couldn't even speak. I'm not a fucking mute. Yes, you're not a mute. You're a stutterer." Qin Feng laughed. "Yes, I'm just a stutterer." Guotao became an idiot after being tricked by Qin Feng. Laughter filled the surroundings. Even the 3 assistants behind Guotao couldn't help but laugh a few times. "Damn you, you're the stutterer. I'm not a stutterer. And you guys, what are you laughing at? If you don't want to work here, get lost." Guotao came back to his senses. He was so angry that smoke was coming out of his head. He turned around and scolded the 3 assistants, venting his anger on them. The 3 of them immediately stopped laughing. They put on a straight face as if nothing had happened. Guotao took a few deep breaths and tried his best to calm himself down. Initially, Guotao didn't want to bring Qin Feng back to the company, but now he changed his mind. He wanted to bring Qin Feng back and teach this arrogant guy a lesson. Follow me back to the company." Guotao glared fiercely at Qin Feng, turned around, and walked towards the commercial cars. There were 2 commercial cars in total. Qin Feng's group of 5 got in one, and Guotao's 3 assistants got in the other. Guotao hesitated for a moment, then ran to the door of Qin Feng's car. He wanted to take a ride with the beautiful young lady and develop their relationship on the road. Guotao's hand had just grabbed the door frame when Qin Feng suddenly slid the door shut. The door gap caught Guotao's hand, and Guotao cried out in pain. "Sir, hurry and go," Qin Feng said to the driver with a calm expression as he glanced at Guotao hanging outside the door. The driver only looked at the left rearview mirror and didn't see Guotao hanging on the right. He started the car and slowly moved. Stop the car. Hurry and fucking stop the car." Guotao suddenly felt the car move. He was so scared that he forgot to scream in pain. He ran with the car while shouting at the driver. The car doors and windows were closed, and the driver didn't hear Guotao's voice. He seemed to want to show off his driving skills. When he turned around, the driver even did a small drift. Wow. Look, there's a dog hanging outside the door. This dog runs so fast. Zhang Kuku was the first to notice Guotao. She clapped her hands and cheered excitedly. The others looked out of the car window and were shocked. How is that a dog? Driver, stop the car. Rao Sherman was a sensible person. Even if she hated Guotao, she wouldn't leave him in the lurch. The driver thought his drift scared Rao Sherman, so he smiled proudly and said, "Don't worry, beauties. I've been driving for more than 10 years. What I did just now was within the scope of my driving skills. Nothing bad will happen." Rao Sherman held her forehead and said speechlessly, "Driver, your director Gua is hanging on the door." Creak. As soon as Rao Sherman finished speaking, the car came to a screeching halt. When the driver saw Guotao hanging on the right door, he was so scared that his heart almost jumped out of his chest. "Qin Feng, hurry and open the door." The car stopped. Rao Sherman looked at Qin Feng anxiously. Qin Feng opened the car door unhurriedly. "Huh? Isn't this Director Gua? Are you going to run back?" Qin Feng asked Guotao as if nothing had happened. Guotao's face darkened. He knew Qin Feng purposely closed the door and pinched his hand. However, Guotao couldn't say it in front of a car full of beauties. It was embarrassing. "Ahem. How can I run back? Is there something wrong with your brain? I saw that the pretty girl group is cooperating with our company for the first time. I want to get in your car and talk to the two beauties about our company's situation." Chapter 891. 10 billion liquidated damages. Guotao said as he jumped into the car. The women in the car all had cold faces. Obviously, they were not willing to sit in the same car as Guotao. Everyone please search for the most complete version. The fastest update. The corners of Qin Feng's mouth curled up, and he quickly closed the car door. Bang. A muffled sound spread out, startling everyone. Guotao's screams could be heard, and the driver's jaw dropped to the ground. "Ow! Are you fucking sick? Quickly, let go." The front half of Guotao's body was already clamped in the car, but the back half was outside the car. That miserable appearance made the women laugh. "Ah, do you want to get in? Why didn't you say so earlier?" Qin Feng acted as if he didn't know anything. Guotao was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He didn't believe that Qin Feng didn't know. This brat did it on purpose. "I already said that I wanted to get in the car. Hurry up and let go." "Ouch, my waist is going to break." Guotao was so angry that he bared his fangs and brandished his claws as he roared at Qin Feng. However, his body was in so much pain that his forehead was covered in a layer of cold sweat. Qin Feng let go of the car door. This action came without warning, and Guotao didn't even have time to react before he fell flat on his face outside the car. Why the hell did you let go? Did you do it on purpose?" Guotao laid on the ground and screamed. All the girls laughed so hard that tears rolled down their cheeks. Qin Feng glared unhappily at Guotao and yelled, "Are you crazy? One moment, you want to run back by yourself. The next moment, you want to get into the car. Just now, you told me to let go, and now you won't let go. We don't want a lunatic like you in the car. That disease is contagious." After Qin Feng finished lecturing Guotao, he closed the door and yelled at the driver. "What are you waiting for? Drive." The driver glanced at Guotao through the rearview mirror. He really wanted to go down and check on Guotao, but when he saw the icy expression on Guotao's face, he was so scared that he immediately started the car and flew away. The MPV behind almost hit Guotao. The driver slammed on the brakes, and the three assistants hurriedly ran out. "Director Gua, are you all right? What's going on?" Guotao rolled on the ground a few times. His white suit was covered in a layer of dust. He was so embarrassed that he couldn't face anyone. "What do you mean what's going on?" "It's all because the beautiful girl group insisted on getting me in the car to talk about personal matters. I opened the car door and saw that there were too many people, so I didn't get in." "Stop talking nonsense, hurry back to the company." Guotao's ability to fabricate lies was superb. However, everyone's eyes flickered. Clearly, they did not believe Guotao's words. The two commercial Mercedes-Benz stopped in front of the House of Millions Media, and Qin Feng, and the other four alighted from the car. Hong Kong's House of Millions Media Company was the most influential entertainment media company in Hong Kong. Many Oscars and Golden Deer winners, as well as Best Actress and Best Actor winners, were signed by this company. The building in front of him towered into the clouds, and the exterior structure was a glass wall, full of modern and fashionable atmosphere. Qin Feng looked up at the building of House of Millions Media. He had to admit that Hong Kong's development was better than China's. Ugly country bumpkin, you've never seen such a tall building, right? Let me tell you, this is the headquarters of House of Millions Media. I work in the chief supervision office on the top floor every day. You can't be jealous. Although Guo had only just met Qin Feng, he already deeply hated Qin Feng. As soon as he got out of the car, Guo found an opportunity to make cutting remarks about Qin Feng. Your company has eunuchs? What are you doing there? Qin Feng asked. Guo smug expression immediately disappeared. He was dumbfounded by the question. Ma Xinxin and the other girls were amused. Even Zhang Kuku found Zheng Shuai amusing. Are you deaf? I said director's office. Guo finally regained his senses. I know the chief supervisor of the eunuch's office is the director. I'm asking you, what do you do with so many eunuchs in one place every day? Zhang Kuku squatted on the floor and laughed. This girl never cared about her image. Rao Sherman and Ma Xinxin covered their mouths and giggled. Sister Ling laughed until her neck turned red, and tears flowed down her cheeks. You're sick. You're really sick. You've never heard of the position of director. You're just a country bumpkin from the countryside. Guo was so angry that his teeth chattered. He swore to himself that he would teach Qin Feng a lesson after he entered the company. Director Guo, let's go into the company and talk business. Rao Sherman forced herself to stop laughing and stepped forward to ease the atmosphere. Guo was very proud of his position as the director of House of Millions Media. He especially enjoyed the feeling of his employees calling him director every day. However, after listening to Qin Feng's explanation to the director, Guo felt disgusted when he heard the word director. Without another word, Guo walked into the company with a cold expression. His three assistants did not dare to make a sound. They suppressed their laughter and followed behind him. Let's go in too, Rao Sherman said to everyone. Ma Xinxin and Zhang Kuku finally stopped laughing. The interior of House of Millions Media was bright and spacious. The decoration was magnificent. As Qin Feng and the others walked on the road, they saw a few familiar celebrities. Guo was in a bad mood. He did not greet anyone along the way, and arrived at the top floor in a huff. Finally, he led Qin Feng and the others into the CEO's office. Chairman Gu, the pretty girls group is here. The door opened and the group walked in. A middle-aged man with long hair and a potbelly sat under the floor-to-ceiling window. When he smiled, his squinted eyes disappeared, and he exuded a wretched aura. Haha, Miss Sherman, Miss Kuku, I've heard a lot about you. It's great to have the opportunity to cooperate with you. Chairman Gu walked toward them and extended his fat hand to shake the two ladies' hands. Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku's eyes flashed with displeasure. They had been in the entertainment industry for a long time, so they had a good eye for people. They could tell that Chairman Gu was not a decent person. Nice to meet you, Chairman Gu. It's my first time here. Nice to meet you. Before President Gu could approach the two ladies, Qin Feng had already grabbed his hand with a smile. President Gu's gaze was fixed on the two beauties, Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku. When he saw Qin Feng, he was so shocked that he almost fell to the ground. Fuck. Who are you? Where did you come from? Are you trying to scare me to death in broad daylight? Chairman Gu was so scared that his fat jiggled. However, Qin Feng acted as if nothing happened and continued. Chairman Gu, allow me to introduce myself to you. I'm Zheng Shuai. As my name suggests, I'm the male lead of Hedonist Sovereign. I hope that Chairman Gu can take care of me in the future. Qin Feng said a lot of things, but Chairman Gu was dumbfounded. Was this really the male lead of Hedonist Sovereign? The people of Starlight Media must have shit in their heads. You ugly country bumpkin. Hurry up and let go of our Chairman Gu's hand. Who do you think Chairman Gu is? Do you think a piece of trash like you can talk to him? Guo Tao had been looking for an opportunity to teach Qin Feng a lesson. Now that the opportunity had come, he hastily stood up and reprimanded Qin Feng. Chairman Gu was still in a daze. Am I dreaming? Director Guo, what's going on? Chairman Gu glared at Guo Tao with a cold expression. Chairman Gu, this is an actor sent by Starlight Media. I don't think they plan on cooperating with us. They're doing this half-heartedly. An actor with looks like this? I can pick anyone off the street, and they're better than him. Chairman Gu, you can't let him act in Hedonist sovereign. Chairman Gu roughly understood the situation. He was so angry that his long hair, which he thought was artistic, stood on end. He glared at Qin Feng and yelled, "Scram back to where you came from. Your elder won't let you be the male lead." Qin Feng's treatment had completely changed after he arrived in Hong Kong. In Zhongchuan City, Chairman Du treated Qin Feng like a big boss. Whatever Qin Feng said was the law. House of Millions Media didn't take Qin Feng seriously, but they had the confidence to do so in the entertainment industry. Chairman Gu, this isn't up to you. Starlight Media signed a contract with your company and picked me out of 10,000 to be the male lead. If you break the contract, you'll have to compensate. Qin Feng said carelessly. Chairman Gu was rich and overbearing. He wasn't afraid of Qin Feng's threat. He sneered and said, "Humph, isn't it just compensation? Guo Tao, find the contract and smash the compensation on this ugly freak's face. Your elder will make him scram." Seeing Chairman Gu and Qin Feng at loggerheads, Guo Tao was indescribably happy. He quickly ran to find Qin Feng's contract. Chairman Gu, I found the contract. Guo Tao ran back excitedly with the contract. Turn to the contract compensation page and see how much it is. Take it out and smash this ugly freak to death. He wants to be the male lead? Go act in a horror film. Chairman Gu scolded incessantly. The beauties couldn't bear to watch it anymore. Guo Tao flipped through the contract with a gloating expression. When he flipped to the compensation page, he was so scared that he threw the contract on the ground. Guo Tao, what the hell are you doing? You can't even do a contract properly. You good for nothing. Chairman Gu glared at Guo Tao, but Guo Tao didn't care at all. His eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. He picked up the contract and stared at the compensation for a long time. Finally, he counted the number of zeros after the 1. Chairman Gu, this compensation is 10 billion. Isn't it just 1 million? Look at you making a fuss over nothing. Go get the money now and smash it. Fuck. What did you say? 10 billion? Do you even know how to count? Chairman Gu was so shocked that he jumped up halfway. He snatched the contract from Guo Tao's hand and looked at it himself. Boss Gu carefully counted the zeros 3 times. Suddenly, a myriad of curses ran through his heart. It really was 10 billion. There's something wrong with this contract. In the past, the compensation for breach of contract was within 10 million. This brat is just a newcomer. 1 million is already sky high. How did he get 10 billion? Chairman Gu's mind went blank. The movie Hedonist Sovereign only cost around 10 billion. If he really breached the contract, he would suffer a huge loss. Guo Tao was dumbfounded. He didn't know why Zheng Shuai's compensation was so high. This wasn't the first day that Starlight Media and Hong Kong's Media of Millions worked together. In the past, the compensation for breach of contract was fixed, and every contract was the same. This time, Guo Tao didn't look at the compensation in detail and casually signed the contract. Now that he looked back, he was in big trouble. Chapter 892. Translator. Hengyi Translations Editor. Hengyi Translations not only were Chairman Gu and Guo Tao stunned, but Rao Sherman and the other 2 women were also stunned. This was the highest penalty they had ever heard of. With Qin Feng's intelligence, he had already figured out the reason behind this. However, Qin Feng didn't know whether he should be happy or angry. This was definitely Chairman Du's doing. And Chairman Du was also the one who increased the penalty fee to such a high amount. Chairman Du was a man with foresight. When he signed the contract, he already guessed that this would happen. He was extremely distrustful of Qin Feng's looks. Chairman Gu, since you insist on breaking the contract, I won't argue with you anymore. Compensate me 10 billion, and I'll go back to the mainland to develop my career. Qin Feng suddenly changed his tactic, because every trick led to Rome. Product book web. Chairman Gu was dumbfounded. This time, he didn't dare to break the contract with Qin Feng. Ahem. Zheng Shuai. I think your qualities are pretty good. Whether it's your appearance, temperament, inner qualities, or cultivation, you fit the requirements of the male lead of Hedonist sovereign. I believe that with House of Millions Media's promotion, you'll become an instant hit. Chairman Gu had already changed his attitude. He spoke to Qin Feng calmly, as if nothing had happened. Oh, does Chairman Gu really think so? Why do I remember that you've been looking down on me? Qin Feng teased. Of course not. Director Gua, have I ever looked down on Mr. Zheng Shuai? Chairman Gu glared at Guatao. Guatao immediately regained his senses. He was so angry that he was about to explode. However, he still forced a smile and said, haha. Chairman Gu has never looked down on Mr. Zheng. Whether it's his talent or appearance, Mr. Zheng has reached the standard of an A-list actor. It's our company's honor to have him act in Hedonist Sovereign. Chairman Gu and Guatao echoed each other, as if they were performing a crosstalk. Ma Xinxin and the other women didn't have a good impression of these two. Now they looked down on them even more. This kind of hypocritical, fickle, and bottomless stinky man was truly revolting. If that's the case, then I'll reluctantly agree to be the male lead of Hedonist Sovereign. Qin Feng said arrogantly. Chairman Gu and Guatao had a smile on their faces, but their hearts were about to explode. You look like a ghost, and you still reluctantly agreed to be the male lead? If I hadn't been screwed over by you guys on the contract, I wouldn't have even given you the role of a corpse. No matter how unhappy he was, he couldn't change the fact that he was screwed over. Chairman Gu decided not to think about it for now. He didn't want to pay attention to Qin Feng, so his gaze fell on the pretty girl duo. Hee. Beautiful ladies, my name is Gu Feng. Just call me Boss Gu from now on like everyone else. Boss Gu took the initiative to greet the two ladies, mainly to get close to them. Big bosses like Mr. Gu, who invested in the entertainment industry, invested with the intention of hitting on girls. However, which actress who had worked with House of Millions Media hadn't been slept with by Mr. Gu? As a result, there was a popular saying in Hong Kong's entertainment circle. If you want to take on a show from House of Millions Media, you have to go to President Gu's bed first. Manager Gu had played with more than half of the female celebrities in Hong Kong, and now, he is reaching out to China. This pretty girl group is to his liking. Ancient Wind? You're more like a punk. Zhang Kuka spoke straightforwardly and disregarded Manager Gu's status. She pointed at Manager Gu's long hair and commented. Everyone was stunned for a moment before they burst into laughter. Even Guatao's lips twitched, and his neck turned red from holding back his laughter. Don't mind her, Chairman Gu. Kuka never thinks before she speaks. She likes to joke with others, and it's always a kind joke. Rao Sherman disliked Manager Gu, but he was the boss of House of Millions Media. This was the first time Rao Sherman and Zhang Kuku had changed their career to film. This movie was very important to their future career, so Rao Sherman stepped forward to smooth things over. Ahem. It's fine. Kuku is innocent and lively. I like her very much. Why don't I adopt her as my daughter? Mr. Gu suppressed his anger and said with a smile, No, you look old and frivolous. I don't want you to be my adoptive father. Zhang Kuku rejected him directly. Everyone thought that Mr. Gu looked old and frivolous, but Zhang Kuku was the only one who blurted it out. The corner of Mr. Gu's lips twitched. He was humiliated by Qin Feng, so he wanted to flirt with girls to ease his mood. But now he was completely speechless. Director Gua, these celebrities just got off the plane. They must be tired. Please bring them to the hotel and take good care of them. Mr. Gu was mentally and physically exhausted. He wanted to be alone. Guatao led Qin Feng and the others out of the company. There was a 5-star high-class hotel next to the company. Guatao had already prepared the rooms and brought them to the hotel. Zhang Kuku, Rao Sherman, and Big Sis Ling stayed in a presidential suite. Qin Feng and Ma Xinxin each got a suite. Qin Feng wanted to get a suite with Ma Xinxin, but Ma Xinxin was shy in front of everyone. She didn't want to share a suite with Qin Feng. Otherwise, they would misunderstand her. Haha. Everyone, please go back to your rooms and rest. This is my name card. Call me if you need anything. I'm going back to the company to deal with some matters. Guotao rushed back to the company after arranging the rooms. As soon as he entered Mr. Gu's office, he heard the sound of something being smashed. Motherfucker. Those people from Starlight Media are too daring. How dare they play tricks on me? He found an ugly freak to brush me off. I called him to ask about him, but he didn't even respond to me. No wonder Boss Gu was so angry. He had just called Yang Kan, and Yang Kan had been chatting with him politely. However, when Boss Gu mentioned that he wanted to replace Zheng Shuai as the male lead, Yang Kan's attitude changed immediately. In the end, both parties failed to come to an agreement. Yang Kan hung up the phone and turned it off. Gee, Mr. Gu, please calm down first. Guotao walked into the office cautiously. Calm down? Do you think I can calm down? If Starlight Media isn't in China, I'll find someone to smash his company. Mr. Gu smashed a glass ashtray into pieces. Guotao jumped in fright and dodged the glass shards. He hastily advised, Mr. Gu, he's just an ugly country bumpkin. If Starlight Media dares to play dirty, we can do the same. Moreover, this is Hong Kong, and it's our turf. Guotao hurried back to talk to Mr. Gu about the plan. Not only did Mr. Gu hate Qin Feng, but Guotao hated Qin Feng more than Mr. Gu. After Mr. Gu smashed and roared in anger, he calmed down a little. What do you have? Tell me. Guotao trembled in fright. He didn't dare to keep Mr. Gu in suspense. He hastily said, Mr. Gu, we can't fire Zheng Shuai due to the restrictions of the contract. However, we can think of a way to make Zheng Shuai violate the terms of the contract. This way, we can righteously terminate the contract. Mr. Gu's eyes sparkled. This was a good idea. Seeing Director Gu's interest, Guotao continued. If you want Zheng Shuai to take the initiative to violate the treaty, or if you want him to take the initiative to terminate the contract, then there are many ways. What I'm thinking now is to call Lu Hai over tonight and have him help me scare Zheng Shuai out of Hong Kong, so that he won't dare to come back in the future. Guotao was obviously thinking of a plan along the way. He simply blurted out the plan. Finding Lu Hai will definitely scare Zheng Shuai away. However, as one of the 4 young masters of Hong Kong, that guy is naturally a playboy. If he appears, he will definitely look at the beauty of the beautiful girl group. Mr. Gu felt that Guotao's plan was generally good, but there were still some details that he was hesitant about. Mr. Gu, it's precisely because Lu Hai is lustful that we should get him to come forward. According to my information, Rao Sherman has a pretty big background in the mainland, so it's not good for Mr. Gu to directly touch her. If Lu Hai goes to test the waters first, then it'll be easy for Mr. Gu to play with that woman. If Lu Hai fails, then Mr. Gu doesn't need to have any more ideas about her. Guotao had followed Mr. Gu for so many years, so he naturally knew what Mr. Gu's interests and hobbies were. Mr. Gu carefully analyzed Guotao's words and felt that it made more and more sense. This was simply a perfect plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Not bad, not bad. You have a lot of ideas. Let's do as you say. Go and make the arrangements now. Guotao had already left the company to contact Lu Hai. Leah, who was in Zhongchuan City, had been extremely busy recently. In the interrogation room of the Public Security Bureau, Leah stayed there for 3 days and 3 nights, interrogating the group of hoodlums that she had captured almost 24 hours a day. Leah had panda eyes, her face was pale, and her eyelids were starting to fight. She was about to collapse, but the group of hoodlums were tight-lipped, and no one had confessed until now. The door to the interrogation room was suddenly opened by someone. Leah did not even have the time to turn around to look, when she was suddenly pressed down on the table by 2 policewomen. Who is it? What are you doing? Leah's tiredness immediately disappeared, and she began to struggle and resist. Zhongchuan City Public Security Bureau Chief Leah, we now suspect that you have abused your power and used your power to avenge your personal grudges. Please cooperate with our investigation. A group of people walked into the interrogation room. Looking at their posture, one could tell that they were not small. Leah turned her head with difficulty to look at them. They were the people from the special investigation team, set up by China. Why did you capture me? I did not abuse my power. And I definitely did not do anything against the law. Leah often saw on the news that some big tiger had been captured. But she never thought that one day, she would also be captured and investigated. Leah thought about what Qin Feng had said before. The mastermind behind this case was very powerful. Leah immediately understood that these people were probably called over by the mastermind. Comrade Leah, please do not resist. We only came to investigate you after receiving a report. Before the results of the matter are out, you will be detained at the local police station. The person did not listen to Leah's explanation at all. The man standing at the front waved his hand, and the two policewomen escorted Leah to the prison. Leah had already calmed down. She did not struggle anymore, and did not even bother explaining. Leah carefully took out her phone with her hands behind her back, and sent a message to Qin Feng. Chapter 893. Am I in heaven? After Leah was brought into the prison, the two female police officers searched Leah's entire body, removed Leah's gun, and took away her phone and walkie-talkie. Leah was locked in a room alone. She had been a police officer for so many years and caught countless criminals. But she never thought that one day, she would also be locked in here. Leah's mood suddenly became extremely disappointed. But at the moment, she was even more worried. She was caught too suddenly, and no one knew about it. Leah's phone was also taken away, so she didn't even have the chance to ask for help. All of her hopes were pinned on Qin Feng, because on the way here, Leah blindly sent a message to Qin Feng. Leah didn't know if the message she sent was correct or not. It all depended on Qin Feng's comprehension. The moment Leah was captured, Li Xiaojia, who was at the base of Aceheng Bar, received the news. Those people from the supervisory committee were sent by the Green Sect, and Li Xiaojia was the one who asked the Green Sect to help him do this. Alright, Leah has already been captured. You guys can go and do it now. Li Xiaojia played with his phone, not taking Leah seriously at all. When Brother Li and One-Eyed Dragon heard the news, they were so excited that they wanted to shout out loud. Brother Li hurriedly replied, Good. Elderly, don't worry. We'll go settle that bitch right now. This way, it'll be easier to catch people in the future. Also, release your underlings who are locked up. The mission I've arranged for you is the most important one. If you can't complete it, I'll teach you a lesson. Li Xiaojia's voice was cold. Brother Li agreed, and pulled the one-eyed man out of the bar. The two of them had suffered quite a bit at Leah's hands. This time, when Leah was captured, the two of them wished that they could stand in front of that woman in the next second, strip her naked and play with her to death. Qin Feng returned to the suite, and had just laid down on the sofa when his phone beeped. Opening his phone, it was a message from Leah. I'll toast to you. Cheers to me. The message was very short. It was worthy of being called a short message. However, the content of the message made Qin Feng very puzzled. Even with Qin Feng's intelligence, he couldn't understand it in a short time. What is Xiaoyu doing? Did you send it to the wrong person? Qin Feng threw his phone to the side. He knew that Leah had been busy interrogating criminals recently, so he did not want to disturb Leah. Most importantly, Qin Feng was currently in Hong Kong, so it wasn't convenient for him to pick up Leah. The message rang for a while, and then there was no follow-up. Qin Feng was getting more and more bored watching TV, so he picked up the message and looked at Leah's message again. In an instant, Qin Feng jumped up from the sofa. He finally understood the hidden meaning in the message. Xiaoyu was in heat. The last sentence of the message, "You always fuck me," was enough to explain everything. As for the first half of the sentence, "I'll toast you," it was definitely because Leah was impatient and typed the wrong words. Qin Feng was half happy and half worried. Leah was the woman who had won Hong Kong's Most Beautiful Miss 3 times in a row. Her figure and appearance were without a doubt. How could Qin Feng reject such a beauty when she had a request for Qin Feng? But why did it have to be tonight? What if Zhang Kuku and Rao Sherman also asked him out for a date? What should he do then? Qin Feng thought to himself. Qin Feng had encountered the most difficult choice in his life. After thinking for a while, he decided to call Li Ya and ask if he could push back the artillery. Could it be pushed back a few days? Just as he made the call, the phone was turned off. Qin Feng raised his eyebrows and had a bad premonition. After hanging up, he hurriedly dialed a few more times, but the phone was turned off. Qin Feng's excitement had long since dissipated. He remembered that on the last day he saw Li Ya. He told Li Ya to turn on her phone 24 hours a day and call him immediately if anything happened. Now that Li Ya sent a strange message and then turned off her phone, Qin Feng felt that something had happened to Li Ya. Hehe. Mr. Zheng Shuai, I just finished my work and was about to call you to ask about your situation with Sherman and Kuku. I didn't expect you to. Qin Feng called Director Du, and before Director Du could finish flattering him, he interrupted him and said, Xiao Du, immediately find me news about Li Ya from the Public Security Bureau and tell her to call me back. Qin Feng's voice was unquestionable and carried a trace of coldness. Ever since Director Du met Qin Feng, it was the first time he had heard Qin Feng speak in such a serious voice. Mr. Zheng Shuai, is it Li Ya from Zhongchuan City's Public Security Bureau? Yes, she is the chief of the Public Security Bureau. Hurry up and find her. If you have any news, immediately reply to me. Qin Feng was not in Zhongchuan City, so he was extremely anxious. Director Du hung up the phone and did not dare to delay in the slightest. He immediately mobilized all his connections to investigate Li Ya's whereabouts. As the chief of the Public Security Bureau, Li Ya's status was very high, so it was easy to find out. Less than 5 minutes after hanging up, Director Du returned. How is it? Qin Feng did not waste any time and asked directly. Mr. Zheng Shuai, I just found a friend from the Public Security Bureau. He said that Chief Li Ya was imprisoned by the people from the Supervisory Committee not long ago. Director Du's voice was trembling. He could tell that Qin Feng cared a lot about Li Ya. And now that Li Ya had been captured by the people from the Supervisory Committee, Director Du did not have the ability to get her out. Qin Feng's face was cold. He did not need to think too much to guess that someone was dealing with Li Ya. As the chief of the Public Security Bureau, Li Ya was investigated, so the other party's power was obviously very strong. Qin Feng did not place his hopes on Director Du. All right, I'll take care of this myself. Qin Feng hung up and immediately called again. Qin Feng? It's already so late, where are you? An emotionless but very pleasant voice came from the other end of the phone. Qin Feng could hear the hidden concern in the voice. Group Leader Yan, I need your help. The call was to Yan Wushuang. Qin Feng had not seen Yan Wushuang for a while. Once he heard her familiar voice, Qin Feng began to miss this woman. However, Li Ya's situation was urgent, so Qin Feng did not have time to reminisce with Yan Wushuang. Yan Wushuang's voice became serious, and she said in a capable manner, What is it? Tell me quickly. My friend in Zhongchuan City has been captured. Send the Dragon Sect member closest to Zhongchuan City to the Public Security Bureau to help him, Qin Feng said quickly. Countless questions flashed through Yan Wushuang's mind. Where was Qin Feng now? Why hadn't he come to see her for a long time? When did he have a friend in Zhongchuan City? Was it a man or a woman? However, Yan Wushuang did not ask any of these questions. She was a very perceptive woman, and she could hear that Qin Feng was very anxious. All right, what's your friend's name? Yan Wushuang's voice was still serious and emotionless. Zheng Shuai. All right, I'll send someone to help him now. After the call ended, Yan Wushuang had already started to contact the Dragon Sect members. Qin Feng stood under the floor-to-ceiling window and looked across the sea at Zhongchuan City. Even if he had the Dragon Sect to help, Qin Feng was still worried. Little pig, I want to go to Zhongchuan City as soon as possible. Qin Feng communicated with Little Pig telepathically. Master, you can summon the flaming golden eagle. It can take you to the sky in minutes. Little Pig was a product of the system. He was a character that spoke in a proper manner, just like an NPC in a game. However, after following Qin Feng for half a year, Little Pig had become a silly pig and could speak internet slang whenever he opened his mouth. With a thought from Qin Feng, a crisp sound rang out. Qin Feng ran and jumped out of the window on the 39th floor. In the next second, the wind whistled past his ears, and Qin Feng really flew into the sky. Ah! Look at the sky. In a room on the same floor, a couple was having wild sex in front of the floor-to-ceiling window. The woman lying on the window suddenly screamed. The man was startled. He looked outside the window. Aside from the hazy moonlight and rolling dark clouds, there was nothing. What are you looking at? Can't you be more serious when you do it? Are you implying that I'm not fierce enough? I'm going to kill you. The man was enraged, and he sprinted wildly. The woman felt wronged. Her man was fierce enough. She really saw a big bird that looked like a fire phoenix flash by. But now she couldn't see anything. Qin Feng couldn't remember how many times he had flown into the sky. He remembered when he was in Acropolis City. He flew into the sky with different women every night. No, Qin Feng was really flying in the sky now. However, this wasn't the first time he had flown into the sky. When they were at Devil Beast Mountain, the flaming golden eagle had brought Qin Feng to soar in the sky twice. This time, Qin Feng flew directly in the night sky of Hong Kong. He felt an indescribable sense of freedom. The flaming golden eagle was a spiritual beast. It realized that its master had urgent matters to attend to. In order to hide its body, the flaming golden eagle flew very high. Its speed was even faster, and it hoped to buy more time for its master. Fortunately, the night was hazy, and the sky was covered with dark clouds. It was as if there was a heavy rain, and the flaming golden eagle happened to be hidden in the clouds. Otherwise, if such a big golden bird flew over Hong Kong's sky, it would definitely cause social unrest. Hong Kong and Zhongchuan City faced each other across the sea. Qin Feng sat on the flaming golden eagle and felt like he was in a trance. He had already entered the territory of Zhongchuan City. Little pig, tell the flaming golden eagle to find a place with no one around to land. Screech! The flaming golden eagle let out a long screech and swooped down from the sky. Qin Feng was depressed. Didn't he say to find a place with no one around to land? This golden eagle was too high profile. Ah, what was that sound just now? On the streets of Zhongchuan City, many people suddenly stopped. They heard a strange cry that sounded like the cry of an ancient mythical beast. Where did that sound come from? Can you not make such a fuss in the middle of the night? It's very scary. Mom, there was a big bird flying in the sky, but there's no trace of it. Silly son, how can you recite a poem? There shouldn't be any traces of birds in the sky, but I've already flown over. Mom, there really was a big monster flying over in the sky. It was even flashing with golden light. You've watched too much Ultraman. Don't watch it again tonight. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.